What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Carlotta Chat With Show. I am Carlotta, and I am here this week with my commentary on hot topics, pop culture, all that stuff happening in the world. You guys, I hope you have been having a wonderful week. My weekend was good. I got to go home to Kansas City. And I went to St. Joe, Missouri for the Chiefs training camp. I had a blast there, okay? Every training camp I went to, the Chiefs ended up with a Super Bowl win. So I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm part of the luck, okay? I'm hoping. So the Chiefs have a wonderful winning season. So that was fun. I love doing that. I love going to training camp. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of the dedicated Chiefs fans. And so that was fun. I got to help my grandparents, because I take care of my grandparents. That's my other job. And me and my cousins, we share the load. And so yeah, it is. I got to do that. Came spend time with them. Child, I got lots. Y'all pray for me. That's all I'll say on that note. But yeah, so I got to do that. And what else has been? Oh, and I got to, I got to get some like fun Kansas City stuff because I love representing my hometown. So I got some Wizard gear. Yeah. And I got some more Chiefs gear. I love Chiefs. And some Royals gear. Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah. And even though I didn't grow up a Royals fan, I grew up a Yankees fan. And I used to go to the stadium with my Yankees gear on. My grandfather was a Yankees fan. So I used to go with my Yankees gear on. New York had everything. It was wicked. But now as I'm away from Kansas City, it feels like all thing Kansas City. Okay. Yeah, so I love my hometown. Not that I still don't love the Yankees, I still do, but it's just, I'm trying to represent where I'm from. Okay. So that was fun. And I didn't get a lot of time to spend with friends because I was so busy doing so much stuff. But wow, yeah. Got to go visit a relative who just got a new house. And let me tell you, I walked in, the house was slamming. No bomb. So yeah, so that was fun too. Yeah, so I had a great time. It was a good time to get a weekend away, and get to see, check on my grandparents and all the things going on there. So yeah, that was my weekend. That's what I did. You guys, okay, so like y'all asking me. People been asking me, have you shaved your hair? Are you gonna shave your hair? I'm not, I haven't done it yet. I heard Kiki Palmer did. I said once I think something, it goes into the airwaves. I understand that. Yes. For me doing that though, for me, it's a big thing. Because she already has short hair. I have grown my hair back out. So I'm like, and it's not as long as it's still long, but it's not as long as it used to be. But I'm wanting to restart the thing. It's just I'm going through this resurgence and this change in my life that I'm trying to do. I know I have my Project 55. For those of you who don't know, when I turn 55, I want certain things to be done so I can go to the next stage. But I'm really trying to learn how to eat better, work on my body, work on everything. And I feel like at this time, I just don't, hair is just an extra added. I love hair, but it's right now, and I love styling it in all kinds of ways. Okay. I wear it every kind of way. But I think also this is a time where I just really don't need like the botherness of it. With my workouts and everything and trying to be a renewal of me. So that's partly why I want to do it. I told my beautician this week, she was like, what? I showed her this hairstyle. She said, oh, yeah, should I do that? I'm like, yes, we're going to do this. But yeah, so that's why it's important to me, just trying to have this renewal and resurgence of self. I've been just, I'm always trying to better myself. But I always laugh. I sound like one big, self-help book sometimes, but it really is me trying to work on myself because I realize that more than anything, I'm a mess. So I try to always better who I am or better my person. And especially when you're dealing with all kinds of stuff. It's so fun because I'm going to talk about the House of Dragons. They're going to be our It's a Word for the day, okay? Y'all know I always do this thing called It's a Word where I talk about, just try to encourage y'all with some things I'm learning in life or some things we can learn. And if you guys have not seen House of Dragons, it's quite a lot like it's similar. It's like the past of Game of Thrones, how the House of Targaryen got started, okay? And right now we've been dealing with this whole thing about the dance of the dragons and the war between with Rhaenyra taking the throne, which we all cheer for Rhaenyra to take the throne. But what we've learned from the game, the house, even the House of Dragons, I'm told by people, some people significantly, some things are different from the book. And I may want to read the book someday. But we already know kind of what's going to happen because of the book, maybe. Um, one of the things I'm learning about this, what I love about this series, I don't like certain things about it, certain storylines and certain things, but it's the lesson, the overall arch and lesson. We see this queen who we're learning about, who we've seen since she was a little girl, and we watched her grow up. This queen who this are supposed to be queen who is supposed to run the seven kingdoms someday. Her father said she was going to run the seven kingdoms, even though her father completely always wanted a boy. It got her mother killed. All these things we know about Rhaenyra and her ascent to the throne. She was the girl. He really wanted a boy heir. He did not get it from her mother. Her mother died trying to have a boy heir. Then the father realizes it and says, hey, I'm going to leave my daughter is the heir to the throne, blah, 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 blah. But then he has a second family with the Hightowers, right? You know, which is with Allison and her family, because Otto Hightower set that up. And Rhaenyra is, feeling left out, because there's this new family. He's got a whole new family. We watch all these things play out, but he still is very close to his daughter. But what we're learning, we see through that thing is Rhaenyra's never really close to her brothers and sisters, and probably because she feels such a sense of betrayal. But because that not only did her father should have known better to me. He was not wise, but her father makes an alliance with Otto, which is and the Hightower house, and he marries Allison, which was Rhaenyra's best friend growing up. And it puts a wedge in between this friendship and what it does to Rhaenyra emotionally. And the father, this is important for men to always remember out here. If you have second families, even when you remarry and you have a child from the other family or whatever, from another family or another situation, always make your children respect their especially their eldest brother and sister. Love them and respect them. I felt like the father didn't do enough to bring Rhaenyra in, especially since one day she would run the kingdom. So a lot of Rhaenyra's issues I see has childhood wounds and issues that the father never took up and never did a good job at, which he gives Rhaenyra from the beginning. And I'm getting to a point here, okay? He gives Rhaenyra this sense, in my personal opinion, of feeling of left out, a feeling of, am I good enough? You say I'm running the seven kingdoms, but you don't make sure that my brothers and sisters align with that. You know, make sure that he constantly had Otto in his ear, and I remember Rhaenyra saying to him, and it also makes Rhaenyra go off on her own, start to do rebellious things. She's running around with Daemon, her uncle. She starts to self-destruct very early on, having children, even though she's married and betrothed to somebody else. He's not having children with her because we know why. I think because at that time he's a gay man, they show in the show, but she's not having children with him. I forget how that goes. She has her kids with another man, which makes bastards children, which not makes them not accessible for the throne, because Targaryens like to intermarry. So she's already doing a lot, and her father is not reining her in, and he's not reining in his children to make sure that his children, that high towers, understand this will be your queen. And this is your brother. Make sure that the sisters and brothers are aligned, that they don't seem like an enemy to Rhaenyra. But what happened is the father, it starts in the father's house because he did not correct it. I wish Rhaenyra would have had the wisdom to connect it. Because every time, here's the thing about what I'm loving about the House of Dragons, because we see the father's mistakes, but we also see has someone, she comes up in, has she's coming up in age. Rhaenyra, you know what, when you're an adult, you always have a moment to try. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but to try to build that alliance and relationship. She could, at some point in her life, she could have said, you know what, these are my brothers and sisters. I'm going to be queen someday. Let me make sure that I create a relationship with them. But Rhaenyra was always trying to fight for things that she had rebelled against, things that were wrong. This is where I'm seeing the mess of Rhaenyra. You know, like Rhaenyra, we all cheer for Rhaenyra, but we're also not looking at the deep, dark ugliness of Rhaenyra that her father created by not solidifying her with her family as the person that will be on the throne. And Rhaenyra not trying to keep that relationship with her best friend. I think things might have turned out a lot differently, but I understand that the father should have never, even though he did it for political reasons, should have never married Alicent. But he did, okay? And he didn't make sure that his children had a healthy respect for their eldest sister, who would once a day who was supposed to be queen. And instead, you know, Otto gets his way with Aegon making his way through the throne. Aegon was an inept king. Has a mess going. But he's a man. That's one thing he got going for him, right? And what this show shows is that everything leads back to self. Even when people are setting you up for the ugliness of the world, you know, some people have had out here great parents. Some people have horrible parents, but every parent has made mistakes raising you. Trust that, okay? But some more than others. And some have set you up for a life of destruction and craziness. And there's been a lot of people who have been set up sometimes, but there are some people who learn how to get around the traps that were set for them early on. And so one of the wonderful things I'm learning watching House of Dragons is that prophecy doesn't necessarily make you a thing. When somebody prophesies to you or prophetic to you, they're telling you that what will be, what can be, if you are aligned with God. But if you are not aligned with your purpose and prophecy, you can destroy your life. We see as Rhaenyra grows up in the House of Dragons, we see that Rhaenyra has this prophecy in her head that she is the prophet. We know, watching the Game of Thrones, we know, I think we believe that she is not. But she believes that she's this prophet, but her line, I think, will be. But she believes that she's this thing that her father has told her. And what I find about Rhaenyra is Rhaenyra focused so much on the prophecy and the position that she didn't think about what would come with it. The price that you got to pay to sit on the throne. She never thought. So now she's got the throne. We see her. She's come up through All of this, she's finally sitting on the throne, but this throne is costing her everything. And it's costing her everything. And when she comes into the final, it's so amazing. What I loved about the production team, the director, is the director had this situation where she's finally taken the throne and she kills Otto, and which is, now I look at the killing of Otto as poetic. And the reason why is because Otto actually set her up. He's actually a lot of the reason why Rhaenyra, not the full reason, Rhaenyra herself is the reason, but he set Rhaenyra up for the fall. But Rhaenyra is making her first way to the throne. We see she's walking in Otto's blood. Coming up to the throne, she's in blood. And then when we saw this weekend Helena, who is a seer, and who's also her brother's wife, who was the king's wife, she jumps out a window, but she leaves alone this thing she was making. And it has Rhaenyra on there, which Rhaenyra fell into sea again. All this fire and blood and everything around her to take this throne. It's so symbolic. And so y'all say, Carlotta, what does that got to do with anything? It's a word. What is the throne in your life? What is the throne that you're trying to take? What is your end game? That's what I loved about the Game of Thrones, because the Game of Thrones had a really actually deeper meaning. That there's a lot of things. Prophecy is one thing, but what is the cost? I remember I was sitting one day, and I've told the story on here before. I was watching on CNBC, I can't remember, one of the business channels, and they had a room full of billionaire guys, and they were all talking about what it took to be a millionaire and what it took to own successful businesses and entrepreneurs, and all of them were giving the regular spiel. And this guy, he was sitting there listening. And when everybody got quiet, he said, there's one thing we're not telling you. And he says, the most important thing you need to learn. He says, we've all paid a heavy price for what we had. He says, some of us have lost friendships, marriages, relatives, sleep, this, that. He was just saying the cost of leadership. And he was saying, so it has been a price. And you can see all of them looking at him, all shaking their head. There is a price for whatever you're going to do in life. Whatever it is, even the price, there's a price for not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So House of Dragons, if anything, it should show you, I hope, or Game of Thrones, or if you guys are watching it, prophecy does not guarantee that does not guarantee that you ascend to where you're supposed to. Prophecy is always, and I always tell people, when you have a seer or a person that can see and stuff like that, they prophesy in part. They don't tell you everything. There's always some more to it, right? The biggest mistake I see Rhaenyra has making, that I've watched her make, there's a lot of things. She's lost her children, a lot of her children for this throne, all these things to get this throne. She hasn't stopped for herself to grieve, because there needs to be a season of grieving. It doesn't have to be long, but it does have to be a season of grieving so that you can think straight. And she isn't connected to the people around her. this week it was so powerful because one of the girls tells her, one of the people she's been ignoring, I think one of her is that one of Damon's daughters, I think, tells her, she says, you just willed us for power. You don't really care for us. You just use us for your own thing. And one of the things that she's doing, she goes, gets her half brothers and people like that who were not bastards to the throne to claim dragons. If you know, this is so they can, because only Targaryens have these strong things with dragons. So she goes and gets, which is really, really kind of a powerful thing, but kind of what would be normally a no-no, right? And instead of building a relationship, she starts off trying to do that, but instead she stops. She doesn't build a relationship. She kind of still thinks of them, even though she's giving them access to something very powerful. She doesn't really get to know these men before she puts them to dragons. Before she puts them, she doesn't get to know her half brothers and what their love is and what they care about and what this and that. She just wills them to get on dragons. And these are the bad things about Rhaenyra, even though we all like Rhaenyra, but these are the bad things. She just puts them on dragons. She doesn't think about their lives, what they've done before. She's just trying to win this war. And she doesn't think about how to build loyal subjects. And I understand a little bit because Rhaenyra is also fighting the idea of her being a woman, because even her children and everybody against her still be trying to rebel against her and test her. That's why a lot of her kids end up dead, because one of her cups, because they was ignoring what she asked them to do, or one of them did, And so she's also dealing with the problems of being a woman, running a kingdom, and all these things. But not also knowing, just using her basic good character traits of learning how to appreciate the people and things around you and love them and show appreciation for them. And I remember this week, that girl was saying that to her, said, you're just wielding us for power. And she does in some senses. But I love somebody else. I was listening to one of the people, one of the reviewers, and they were talking about how, but you guys haven't been the greatest to her either, because when you saw that dragon, she was talking about when you seen Aegon's dragon and you saw it was laying there decaying. She said, you should have made sure he was dead, because Aegon was still out there. And you should have made sure you should have burnt that dragon to a crisp. And I said, wow, because Rhaenyra doesn't know her subjects. She doesn't understand that her subjects are limited in how they see things. They're very limited in loyalty, and they're also limited in knowing what to do. She doesn't have very good advisors around her, and she's not very good to what she has. So what I'm saying to you guys that you can learn from Rhaenyra is how to wield the energy around you. Who is good to you? Who do you have in your midst that takes care of you, that loves you? That don't mean, listen, let me tell you something. Everybody, you don't have to give everything to stuff like that. But being loyal to people who are loyal to you. Blessing people who bless you. I was looking at this situation the other day. A person, and I don't want to judge them because I'm not going to say no names and stuff like that, but a celebrity. And I just noticed the celebrity is like, they have people around them that do other things, right? But the celebrity I pay attention to, I pay attention to a lot of celebrities, but this particular celebrity never acknowledges the people who do a lot for them. And I'm like, God, I don't like that. Like, because I be noticing the people that do so. To me, you gotta, if you want to create loyal subjects, and this is what I'm learning for myself. I'm learning this for myself too. If you want to create loyal subjects, sometimes you're pouring into the wrong thing. I know most of my life, let me say this sidebar. Most of my life, what I've learned is because I was pouring sometimes into people who I shouldn't have been pouring into, didn't care. that didn't care about me, didn't really see me, and didn't even care what I was giving to them, but it was people around me asking for that. And that doesn't mean you have to be attached to everybody, because sometimes you got to be discerning. I'm not saying to go with everybody that want to be around you and be in your space and stuff like that. No, be very discerning of people you invite into your space and the people who you invite into your life. And everybody who likes you and wants to get to know you doesn't mean they should have all full access to you. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. But I'm saying for the people you know who are stable and fight for you, and fight for things for you, you have to learn to be and I'm learning this too, you have to learn to be caring and loyal to those people. Rhaenyra is just seeing her people as a way to get to the throne. But like, I was laughing. I said, what if she would have went down to the, like, when she found out her brother likes her half brother likes that bar thing to go to. Instead, she's like, you can't go to the bar thing anymore. She's right. You've now become a dragon slayer and stuff. But instead of saying that, because she saw that was important to him, it would have been cool if Rhaenyra would have just said, you know what, take me down to where you're going. We're going to go with all the kings. Take an hour out, left the thing to someone else, take an hour and went down to his favorite place and let the people see her, and the king. You know how much of an impression that would have made. But she kept missing it because she didn't learn how to relate to people. Even if you're not relatable, even if I'm a socially awkward person, really, people don't. I'm very shy. But I've learned over the years that you have to be relatable. You try to be as relatable as possible. And I know that sometimes when people meet me, I'm kind of socially awkward. But people really don't seem to care about that. It's sometimes when people meet, they just want to be, they like me just for me, even though I'm socially awkward. And so I've learned to not let that be a hindrance. And I'm still learning to not let that be a hindrance in me getting to know people or me getting to this. And I'm really an introvert too. So I had to learn to be an extrovert and still learning how to be one. It's very hard. But I understand that outside of my comfort zone is a blessing. So I would say to you guys, it's very important to learn. Don't just use your people as an ends to a means, but also love on them. You don't got to do everything, but love on them when you can. Like I was saying about going back to the celebrity, I see you got people around you that you blessed enough to have somebody's loyal. Maybe they ain't the best. Let me say this, because sometimes you don't always got the best people, but the people, they know what they do enough that's loyal to you, that helps you, that bless them. This person don't bless. I was like, wow. I said, because what I watched it, I was like, I said, I hate to think this. And we're in the age of Aquarius, and the reason why I think that's one of the things I keep bragging on Oprah. I really do keep bragging on Oprah, even though there's some things I don't like about Oprah. But one of the things I love about Oprah is that when she used to have her talk shows, that she would not just show the talk show. She'd go to the background. You would hear rumors about Oprah giving everybody a trip to Hawaii, her whole staff, from the lowest to the mail room, to the people who work outside the offices and everything, to go to Hawaii for together. She was so appreciative. I always say age of Aquarius. That's what you're supposed to be. She is philanthropic, even if she's wrong sometime in how she does it. Man, though, she does have great leadership. One thing that I think Oprah should apologize, though, is to Monique. I really do think she would heal her. It would change her life. I think she should apologize to Toni Braxton too if she really did that, because you was trying to get in with the people. You should have just been, did the interview like you're supposed to. There's some things that I don't like about it. You know what I'm saying? But and apologizing to Monique, I definitely think should have happened because that was nasty work getting her family on there. But I digress from all that. What I'm saying is that for the majority of her career, one of the great things about Oprah Winfrey, and apologize, she also needs to take time to not just be into African kids, but that's her goal. That's her goal in life. I ain't gonna dog, but don't just listen. My thing is because you want to bless African kids, that's okay. But don't use black kids. As I remember, you did that. She should apologize to that too. What she said years ago. Don't use black kids for the reason that you want to do that because you're saying they're ungrateful. It's ungratefulness all across this world, child. But that's what it was, kind of something like that she said, but whatever. But those are some of the things I have not liked about her. And then I thought her show compared to Donahue was kind of a lot of fluff and stuff like that. But other than that, Oprah has, in the age of Aquarius, to me, she's a great example of how celebrity should be. Even when she would have those legacy. Remember, she would have those legacy things because she wanted to show appreciation to all the Black artists, Black American artists who inspired her over the years. And she'd have this big dinner and she'd have the different people. She'd give them jewelry. These were people who already were great. I mean, age of Aquarius shit. Oprah is that understanding that. A lot of celebrities, you should look at Oprah Winfrey. Oprah is brilliant at this. Brilliant. Even if she's a hellraiser behind the scene, I've never heard that, but even if she is brilliant at how she comes across, brilliant at giving the people who are loyal to her good things around them for her. Brilliant at understanding how to keep certain people at bay. I mean, that's age of Aquarius stuff. Very powerful. She's an Aquarius, okay? But that doesn't mean because you're Aquarius, you're doing all that. Some of y'all Aquarius is backwards. But I'm just saying she is moving in that energy, okay? And I would say to this celebrity, I saw this celebrity and I'm like, and somebody told me, well, sometimes this celebrity, they may be depressed and all this stuff. I said, well, that's probably why. Because you not seeing the things to do that's around you. Like, go bless some of the people who bless you. Take your ass out of your like if you got, listen, let me say this. If you got people who come out and are loyal to bless you, and this is something I'm learning too. I'm preaching to myself too. I'm not preaching just to you. I'm preaching to myself too. Okay. But if you a celebrity and you blessed enough to have, that's why I don't like I don't like y'all be out bragging on Beyonce and them either, because I see this with her. But I ain't my business. I ain't gonna say nothing more about Beyonce because I'm over that. Listen, all I'm just trying to say to y'all is that when you see people who are willing to come in and bless your energy, you bless them back. Try to as much as you can. Get out your world. Like, if you got a band and they do stuff, I'm not saying you got to go to everything, but if they doing something separate for you, try to show up at one of their events. Because you know how much that would mean to them? Instead of being all in your fucking self, try to post an event on your page or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Try to give back as much as you can. Like when you already got it. You know what I'm saying? Just try, try to, because it's action that show people how you feel about them. It really is. And sometimes we're trying to build relationships with people who we think are, a lot of times and listen, there are times when God is calling you to move up in higher circles and higher things and to get rid of old things. Okay, Joe? No, because I want to make that clear. Some of y'all do need to get rid of some of these old friends and stuff because they don't add anything to you. And they not aligned with the new version of you. But there are some old friends who love you and are aligned with you at every version. But some of y'all are trying to so bad to move up in things and move up that you just move up. You get with some higher person or you think going on, and they don't do nothing for you. And it's really those people, those friends that work for you no matter what, that grind for you no matter what, that you should be pouring into. Instead of somebody you barely know and don't want to do nothing for you, just sitting up there, you just trying to get to know them because you think they the more important. But sometimes those people, they not all that. Sometimes some of you should be knowing something that let's don't hear. You got to discern when that is. Discern when it's time for you to move higher and get rid of things that are no longer aligned with you. That's a different thing. Get rid of friendships and old friendships and things that are no longer aligned with you and to move forward. But there are also times when there are also people who don't see they have old friends who care and who would cheer them on and things like that. But a lot of times they don't think they got enough resource. They don't got enough this to get me where I need to go. But that friend might put out flyers for you when you singing at the local bar, or they may put out come to every last one of your events and be there. I'm like, yes, your biggest fan. But you try to move up and diss them for somebody who you think is gonna be all that for you, and they ain't did shit for you. They ignore you. They don't even pay no attention to you. And you trying to get up in them circles that don't really pay no attention, but your biggest fans and the people who gonna push you is right down there. So that's what I'm just saying, to be aware of what's around you. Be aware of the loyalty. Even they can't give you what you think these other people can, but they give you enough. And some of them, I love this old song. There's a song that from this girl from the UK called Glitter and Gold. All that glitter and all that gold, or something like that. I forget. It won't buy you something when you've been bought and sold, chasing white horses. What is that name of that song? Dun, 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 dun. I forget the name of it. Oh my God, with all that glitter. Her name was Rebecca Ferguson. And all of that gold, take care of your soul. So it's a cold song. I don't remember what it's take care of your. Oh my God. Y'all look at her up, Rebecca Ferguson. All that glitter and all that gold. That's what, and she's saying, hey, at some point, like you can have all these big time people and all these things and stuff like that. But the most important thing for you to, let me look that song up because I think it's good for me to read this. So somebody may need to hear it. I don't know what happened to Rebecca Ferguson either. Is she still singing out here? This is one of my favorite songs. I used to play it all the time on the podcast. Let's see. I want to play it because y'all be liking them and not tag people. And that's the same thing to me with the music industry. The music industry misses out on great things. Let me just say this: a lot of the gatekeepers in the music industry, and that whole fake buying CDs and all that. I think those are little tricks they trying to get people to do because they know they in trouble and try to say people buying CDs again. I'm like, okay, and they might trick y'all into doing that. I don't know. But my thing to me is that the entertainment industry misses out on a podcast, blog talks, radios. Listen, your music should be free to smaller podcasters. You need to tell all your people, you know how y'all get big again? Hey, not taking the license stuff. Having the licensed people need to be like, because radio is not doing what it used to do. The new radio is the podcasters. Just like y'all go on, you need to be able to promote your music and everything like that. So these record companies, a lot of these artists need to put pressure on their license agreements and people like that to start giving access to podcasters and people like that to music. And depending on how big they are or small they are, whether they get charged or not for it. Because they're the new radio. I think they paid their music on radio. Radio's free. Okay, it's just so you can get your music out there. But the new radio has become the podcaster. So they're behind. They're not getting it. So that's why a lot of y'all stuff ain't moving like it used to. Yeah, it's not because there's that's the new thing. So podcasters, whether they small or big or stuff like that, should be allowed to, but I digress. I ain't got time to tell some. Y'all figure it out. But let's see. It's a find these lyrics. Okay, she said, how good, how bad, happy or sad does it have to get? Losing yourself, no cry for help. You don't think you need it. And old friends are just a chore, but you're gonna need them more than ever before. All that glitter and all that gold won't buy you happy when you've been bought and sold. Chasing white horses you can't control with all that your glitter. I can't remember. I can't sing y'all this early morning. And all of your gold, take care of your soul. So that song is bad. It's the words is tight. And she said, how high, how low, how on your own are you gonna get? Because losing your soul will cost you more than the life you're paying for. All those friends you left behind, you might need them when it's cold outside. All that glitter and all that gold won't buy you happy when you've been bought and sold with all your glitter and all of your gold. Take care of your soul. And she's like, one day you're going to wake up to find that new dream is losing its shine and nobody is by your side when the rain comes down and you're losing your mind. So who you going to run to? Where you going to hide? And get glitter and gold won't keep you warm on those lonely nights, okay? And then she goes, and all those friends who were just a chore, you're gonna need them more than ever before. And listen, I'm not talking about, listen, I want you guys to understand, because some of you fools out here will do this and be like, that means I'm supposed to keep my old ratchet friend that don't mean me no good. I've been knowing for 100 years. And I'm talking about ratchet. You get rid of the old ratchet friends. I ain't talking about them. You have discernment. I'm talking about friends who you know who are by your side, who are in alignment with who you are now, who care about you. They may not have what the new crew that you trying to get in got, but they got enough. And they there for you during that. Make sure that you love, don't let them be a chore to you. Love though your biggest person who's cheering for you. Care for them. That's what's it's the energy of that puts you, that makes that. Let me tell you something. Let me let you know something. And I've seen this a lot, okay? I've seen this stuff a lot where some people don't understand their social cachet. Myself too, okay? I gotta say this about me and my little stuff, okay? Sometimes we don't understand our social cachets, our social, our things that we have around us that helps us, who we are in the energy surrounding it, okay? And we trying to get up in these other circles and get to knowing other people, and we feel like the things that are around us, sometimes they don't, and sometimes they are holding you back. Because see, listen, sometimes things that can appear as good, that's why I say heavy discernment. Let's sidebar on this, okay? Because I always make these things so that I can understand. Heavy discernment is important in judging old friendships and things like that. Heavy discernment, because some of them need to go too. Old relationships and all things like that. Everything that appears to be good, some things are good for a point, but they're not good. They don't serve. I said serving who you are currently, the alignment of where you're going, the alignment of, and you will know who those old friends are who serve that. Some of your friends can be really good people, but they're not serving the alignment to where you're going. Like you may have a really good friend that you really like, and they nice and they cool. But every time you know you're supposed to be, that God wants you to be in a doctor. Let's say, okay, you going to medical school, and that friend like you really supposed to, I mean, I don't know, you spending all that money on medical school and all that stuff, girl. You just be a nurse practitioner. And nothing wrong with nurse practitioners. I love nurse practitioners just as smart as doctors, okay? But your goal is doctor, okay? That person may not be in alignment where you're going. Now you got some good friends that's gonna tell you the truth. That be saying, girl, you ain't supposed to be out here in this mess. You ain't supposed to be doing. You need to be doing something else, and it's true. I'm not talking about that. Those are good friends who tell you the truth when you need to hear it, and even though you don't want to hear it. But I'm talking about when you know that this is your goal. You know that being a doctor is really who you are and who you're supposed to be, and that person is out of alignment with that, then you may have to, they might be a great person, but you got to let that go. Okay. All right. But sometimes what's going on a lot of times is y'all don't understand y'all social power, social cachet, that those friends that who are on your side, that are on the lower levels, or people who you think aren't all of that, are people who you think, and but they give you, you know, when you talk to them, they're inspired and they help you to do, you like, man, I just got through talking to such, they helped me to do this. They got me, man, this and that, blah, 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 blah. You know, those people, you know who they are in your life, and they may be old friends, right? And you're so busy trying to get to where you're getting to that you're ignoring them, or not even having, time. And that's okay, because sometimes you don't, but you not even, you know what you have to. I'm trying to explain this to y'all because I'm learning this for myself. And that doesn't mean you got to call everybody every day, every week, every moment, everything. But I'm just saying, learning to love and give something back to those people who cheer and encourage you, instead of always trying to get in these circles. Because what I mean is, sometimes people don't understand their own social cachet, going back to that, because sometimes you think what happens is you cheapen who you are when you try to get in some of those circles, because some of those people are watching you anyway, right? Some of those people who you think are so big and all that. This one particular celebrity, I see this a lot with. This one particular celebrity that did not understand a social cachet. I was like, my God, you're going to play it. You're going to fuck it up trying to hang out with all these people who are this and that, when you should just keep your mystique with that crew. Like, I saw this with Whitney. I thought this was Whitney Houston too. I really believe this with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, even though I love that Whitney Houston's down home and fun, you can still be all that, but still keep your power, your social power. A lot of times she was giving access to people who didn't need access to her. Sometimes you will have friends, you got to learn how to compartmentalize people. You will have friends that every friend you can't tell your problems to, because every friend ain't on that level to hear that. Like, every friend, some people are just your friends. Like, you're there, it appears as mentor. You got to understand when you're in the mentor seat. And you can't be vulnerable in certain places, like with certain people. But to me, with Whitney, she didn't ever have that higher group that she needed. Or she avoided them, the higher group that could have helped her when she was going through those things like drug addictions and stuff like that. Instead, she would get herself in a group that would accept all that and be out, we just wanted to be around Whitney, all that stuff. So she never, to me, when you watch her move with her social, how she moved, she didn't understand her social powers and how you appear as a mentor to some people. But when you're appearing as a mentor and a teacher to some people, there are certain things they shouldn't have access to. That's a mentor mentee friendship, and you got to understand what that is, right? So they're looking up to you. So you, even when you have problems, they can know, hey, I have my problems too. But you have to be able to discuss that with them in a way that makes you they understand you're human, but they're not seeing that the ugliness of you, because it takes something away. But instead, what I used to hear, I don't know, this is I digress if I'm wrong, but this is what my perception was. It's not facts or what I used to allegedly hear. This is just something y'all can hear. That sometimes she would do things bad, like maybe do drugs or do certain things in front of these people, which make these people think less than her. They didn't see her as the great Whitney Houston, because they start seeing her as like, oh, she out here drugs, she's out of the party, she's doing everything. But they looking up to her and expecting her to be something different, but she trying to bring herself down. And she's not bringing herself down in front of the right people. Like, certain people will protect you in who you are. Certain people will not. They will use that to destroy you, especially if it's where a lot of people are in a room looking up to you. I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying. And so my personal opinion is, and I've had that happen to me where I've done stuff, where I've done something where I'm a boss. Like if you're a boss at your job, okay, there is a certain way that there is a certain respect level. There is a line. And when you blur that line, when you're too down, you're too letting everything go on, and people don't see the respect of you has in that position has a boss, has their boss or their person, their leader for that day, they will disrespect you. They will, if you let them see that you doing crazy stuff like them, or you doing this and that and this and that, then they ain't gonna have no respect for you. They're gonna be like, ah, shit, she cool. She'll let you do this. You blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you have to say no. You can still be cool, still be fun, still be this, but making sure that you have a line, a thing that people understand. There is a line that you don't cross with me, okay? Because I am still your superior. Not meaning that I'm your superior and better than you. I'm your superior that I'm leading you right now. And I'm going to respect that I am your superior, but not letting you see certain things or not letting you do certain things or whatever of me. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. And I saw this same thing with this particular other celebrity. This other particular celebrity was so in a rot. They thought being kept out of the loop. This is just what I'm not saying no names of who it is, but this particular celebrity I used to see just chasing certain groups. And I'm like, you don't need to do that, because what they didn't understand was their own social cachet. I'm going to tell you a celebrity who I feel like understands her social cachet. But I could be completely wrong about her too. Maybe it's just because she's isolated. But she gives me, I understand it. Sade. She does. Sade. I don't know if Sade just might be tired and at home and be like, damn it, I don't want to go to all that. I ain't got to go none of that. But I like to think of it as a woman who understands her social power, her power of her mystiqueness, not mystiqueness of being just stuck up for being stuck up, but that the power of her mystiqueness protects her from things. Even though if you look at Sade's background, Sade been through some shit. Now, Sade, there's some things that are happening in the public, especially in the 80s and stuff like that. Sade ain't completely, but I'm saying that she's learned to wrap this energy that has come around her. She recognizes, it feels like I like to think, it feels like she recognizes what that energy is, and that she keeps that at bay. She's very particular at whose concert she may show up at. She's not chasing everybody because she don't got to. She really knows who. It feels like I know who I am. I know who this band is. I ain't got to chase. I ain't got to be up at Beyonce show. I might go, but I ain't got to be at the Rock Nation breakfast. Cause I'm Sade, baby. I see if I walk in the breakfast, everybody gonna understand what it is. And that's why I also say this particular celebrity didn't realize that they had this same kind of social thing. And what they would do is they think they didn't. And so they would expose themselves to bringing themselves down to trying to chase what was popular and trendy. But you didn't need to do that, because they was going to trace you. When you Sade in her own world, they chase Sade. They were big. You know how Jay-Z and Beyonce will fall out and still be happy getting it, sucking up them energy vampires, be sucking up Sade's energy if she walked into one day concert. Them mother, it'd be on every social fucking media. It would be on every media thing that they everything. But you know what? They don't show up. Check this out. Let me show y'all something real quick. Hold up. Let me show you something that's talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. And I like Jay-Z and Beyonce. I like some of their music and stuff like that. Just because I criticize them don't mean I don't like them. Okay. Let me just say this. Okay. Check this out about them. They don't show up hardly nothing. Except for people who don't chase them. So they can be in the energy. Like the NFL, Jay-Z come to that for Super Bowl. Because why? He got to come to the Super Bowl. He the halftime person. They hiring him. You don't see the NFL chasing them. The NFL hired him. They ain't chasing him. They using him. people will show up at Beyonce's concerts and stuff like that. She won't show up. She showed up at Brandy and Monica's, and I got my theories for that. Well, there's one because Kelly Rowland was there. Okay, you got to keep the armor bearer in line. Okay, but I digress. Okay, but listen, but these people show up where they have something. It's weird. Okay, but when you trust, let me just say this. Okay, and I don't want to dog her. I like her. I just think that's one of the biggest people who are spiritually concerned to see about Beyonce and them, that it is like you become the trendy thing and you can't rest in it. You can't, you're constantly trying to self-correct. You constantly have to put yourself out there. You constantly have to chase. You're contrived. That's what it is. Okay. Whereas these artists like Sade are not. They don't care. Yes, they have marketing. Yes, they have all this stuff. But they also are very grounded she's very grounded in who she is. Now, when her next album come out, she might go to a concert or something, let y'all see her in public. Hey, let y'all use some of her energy or something like that. But for the most part, this chick ain't going out to everybody. She don't show up at everybody's shit. She really don't. Because she really grounded. She ain't showing up at every motherfucker's parties and stuff like that. I love that about Sade. She not showing up at everybody's party. Like, hey, it's Sade. She might have a time when she decides to do that. But right now, in most of her career, she ain't have to giving people access. She like, I give you access to me. Not like that. I understand who I am in the world of entertainment. And I understand that I don't need you to validate me. Because I know I'm Sade. And I pay my dues. And you know what? She is the elusive chase. I'm telling you, if Sade walk into I told y'all, if Sade show up at Jay-Z's concert, they're gonna try it now. They're gonna try their best. Please, Sade, show up at my concert. Because they energy vampire Sade. They gonna really try. Okay, because they know they'll use that for months. Sade was that much. This shows I'm legit. Because they chase her validation. Because she don't need theirs. If they could get, if Jay-Z, if Sade shows her ass up at the Jay-Z concert in LA, I might go to that one. I'm thinking about that. But if Sade shows her butt up at the Jay-Z concert in Los Angeles, do you know how many photos they will be putting out there? Beyonce couldn't help it. Hugging up with just Sade's. Give me some energy. Because they chase her validation, not the other way around, because she know what she's built. They will put that out there for weeks. Okay, but this other entertainer, in my opinion, has got that same thing. But their problem is they chase them. They don't realize they got that same thing that Sade got. And what they did is started chasing these fools, trying to be hanging out with them and all this stuff like that. When you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that at all. You got the same thing, but you don't know it. And so what happened when they start showing up at these events and they start showing up at this stuff, people kind of still was forgetting about it. People still kind of like, they start thinking less of them. They start thinking this and that. No, that's why you don't do it. That's why you don't do it. You don't show up everybody's stuff. You ground yourself. This is what I love about Sade. She grounds herself in what is important to her. And she understands what show business is. This is my perception of Sade. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it's all accident. That she's giving off this, but it gives me a woman that is tough, that's understanding her power and her mystique and won't let everybody touch it. And what's probably funny is it's the people who do know her and have access to her won't be big name celebrities and all this dumb stuff. It's people who really like maybe the day-to-day people she sees every day. And she still managed to be successful, super successful, one of the most super successful artists in the world. I love that about her. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I study Sade. Sade is that girl to me. Okay, like when you're talking about controlling your mystique. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. And she understands. I feel like Sade understands these vampires. Like, because she got some vampire blood. She give me that. She's like, I understand, because I understand what y'all are, because I'm an energy. I understand what energy is. And you will not steal minds for anything. If I'm going to give you that energy, I'm going to give it to you because I want to be here. It's the kindness of me, or blah, blah, blah. But I don't need you to make it. She gives me that. Okay. That's why I love about Sade. Okay. It's made her, you know what this mystiqueness has done? Made her a hot commodity. When Sade decides that she's going to tour, it's going to be crazy. Be sold, and it's going to be sold out everywhere. Why? Because she's protected her mystique. This other artist did not. They started coming as soon as they came out. Instead of protecting their mystique, they started trying to run around with people in that industry, and that's because they got low self-esteem. They're not grounded. The mystique is false. They're not grounded in who they are as a person. And so this celebrity that I'm talking about, somebody said to me, and that's me, I'm learning this about my own self. This is you got to protect your mystique. You got to protect your social cachet, your aura from vampires, even the bigger stuff. Even especially if you're a celebrity out there, if you're a celebrity, you're a big old star, even if the bigger stars want you at some, watch them. Because some of them are not really, they're vampires, and they're needing you to validate them, because the way they've made it is not in the way that you've made it. They've made it by doing, some of these people have done all kind of tricks and all kind of, I've been seen with the right person. I was seen shoving. And that's all that in the show business world goes on for everyone. Okay. Even Sade, all those people, they do marketing and things like that. But some people, that's their whole steez. Their whole steez is not necessarily been on their talent. And then they try to create false mystique and all this stuff. It's just crazy. It's a nutty, and they don't have the energy of that. They mad because you got certain artists. There's a certain artist, I'm being one. Yeah, I know who I'm talking. Certain artists right now who thrives off of false mystique. She think that because she not giving no interviews and stuff like that, that she desires to have the mystique of a Sade, but she's not that artist. She didn't build that career up. But they'll continue to try to sell it, and that's why she's failing completely. Like with all the brands, and because it's a false mystique. You're not her, and your brand wasn't built like that. Even if she accidentally walked into it, her brand was built a certain way. Your brand is built. You got to be out here if you want to sell other things than your concerts. They built you up as a performance, but they have not built you up as an artist who can sell things. Rihanna is that girl. Rihanna's out here. She's her regular steez girl. Rihanna understands she ain't no Sade. Rihanna's out here like, hey, I'm in these streets. Me and ASAP Rocky's on there talking about the relationship, everything, because Rihanna understands that's not who I am. But these certain people trying to build themselves up and trying to make they shit look like they that. You not Sade. Sade don't even make numbers like y'all two do. That's the problem. She don't care about that. You fuckers do. She don't give me, I care about how many records and how many things and how the public look at me. She don't wish that really seem like Sade. But you trying to pretend that that's you. That's not you. That ain't the career you built up at all. And the career you built up, I'm going to tell you who it is. Beyonce and Jay-Z, the career y'all built up, you got to be out here. You didn't build up that career. You built up a career based off of how your Sade built is a person that does not really care about numbers. She doesn't probably nowhere near probably what Beyonce has sold, because Beyonce is got to be out here. That's because that's how they marketed her. But she thinks she get my personal energy I get from Beyonce and them. They think they're supposed to be Sade. You can't be Sade. You're not that. You're a massive pop star, and that's okay. Be who you are. Quit trying to be who everybody else is. Quit trying to steal their energy because you're not that. And that's what this other artist did. This other artist, to me, that have lost their mystique and think their mystique comes with just not being around. That's stupid. No, that's not your mystique either. Your mystique was grounded in that people thought you had a life outside of entertainment. Your mystique was in, even if you did it accidentally, even if you did it, if Sade, like Sade did it accidentally, even if y'all stay, because you've been out, people don't know, I was out there, really, I wasn't showing up, making no albums because I was high, or I was, whatever created the mystique, it created the mystique. And it made you seem like you're a grounded person in regular life. Like I don't really need all that. I ain't really got to be out here every day of my fucking life. I don't give a fuck. Then you got to be like consistently that. And they will chase you. Okay, so y'all saying, what does this? I'm coming to where I'm coming back to y'all, okay? You make yourself something rare, distinctive, grounded in yourself. And you won't have to chase a motherfucking thing, okay? They will come, the fame, something my spiritual mom used to tell me, and it's something I have to learn in myself, and I'm learning to learn it. I'm so learning. I'm late in learning it, but I'm learning it. And she said, Keisha, your gifts will bring you before great men. You ain't meaning what's inside of you will bring you before great men. Most of the entertainment world tries to chase fame. And even when you get to the point where you don't want it no more, a lot of these artists have gotten so they funny, they try to be Sade, but they can't because they've built up, they've been chasing the fame all their life. Sade was not chasing fame. Sade was chasing seemed like a singing career. And fame was a part of it. But she's grounded in other things. You are not. And you can't pretend like you are. You got to really be that. You're trying to pretend, and then every time something happened, they jumping out. Oh, wait a minute. Or anytime somebody trying to come up, they don't care about nobody coming up. She ain't care nothing about Snow Allegra out here acting like her. Trying to put an album out to hurry up and remind everybody, listen, I'm Sade, not Snow Allegra. She didn't do none of that. She see people out here trying to copy her. She knows she can't be copied. She don't give a fuck. Okay? I love that about Sade. Sade is awesome. Is this a gift? Is this a love to Sade, an ode to Sade show? And I could be completely wrong about her, but what she gives off, man, is beautiful. They chase her. That industry chases her because she ain't even checking for them. Now, when she come out here and get ready to do her album, I'm sure she's going to make a lot of appearances and make a lot of things, and she's going to give y'all access. But she really is that chick. She ain't pretending to be that chick. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they not pretending over there. Sade ain't pretending over there. Sade don't care if y'all sitting up there talking about her. She don't care. If she don't got to jump out to protect everything every 5 seconds. Like y'all be running around here pretending, here I am, I'm making another, hold on, I'm cutting his hair. I mean, just the most contrived people I've ever seen, but always trying to steal other people's energy. And I'm really, a lot of y'all, that's a lot. If I was you guys as friends, I would tell you, stop that. Ground yourself in who you really are. Quit being contrived. It will destroy you. It's going to destroy your whole family. You keep doing that. It really is. I know the career was built off of that and everything like that, but you got to ground yourself. It's really getting ridiculous. And you can only steal energy so much before it starts turning on you. It's working again the energy thing and jumping up and doing all this stuff, it's working a little bit, but it is going to come back. It's just building up we may not see it publicly, but you'll see it personally. It'll destroy you. So that's why I say ground yourself in who you are. As an artist, what I'm using Sade for to tell y'all about is that you don't got to chase nothing. You don't got to chase the people. Doors will open for you. Yes, network. I'm not saying don't network, but I'm saying don't chase. Sometimes I tell myself that don't chase. You ain't got to chase. Sade don't do chasing. They chase her, and she's not the most famous thing in it. Sade will walk into, if Sade walk in the room, she get just as much love as they be chasing her around like Beyonce. Well, everybody won't be chasing her around like Beyonce because Beyonce is the mass appeal, okay? But Sade, people who know when they know a rare wine, like why y'all over there getting the massive, why y'all over there drinking what's that song? What's a wine that's real out here? I can't think of that good because I'm hood. What's the a wine that everybody drink? I even like. What's the one I like? I was seeing somebody say something about the other day. Oh God, what is it? The sweet. I forget the name of it. It's a lot of people drink it. Oh, that's pissing me off. I can't think of. Hold on, let me look it up, y'all. Let me look up something so I can see. That's how much I be forgetting. Hold on, y'all. It's gonna make y'all. Some of y'all are out here saying it. I can feel y'all saying it, trying to tell me what it is, but not. Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out, y'all, because I feel like I need to say it to make my point. It's funny because I messed up my line now. Moscato. That's it. Moscato. While y'all here, some people are Moscato and some people are those rare wines from 1835, or you know what I'm saying, like that. You all the mass may be drinking Moscato, but Sade is for rarity. She is rare, not mass appeal. Okay, and she understands that game. And she protects her energy. She understands I'm not mass appeal. That's not what this band is meant to be. It's great that people love us like that, but we will never act like mass appeal. And so, I actually have other things I'm doing. I got like stuff I do at home. I don't know if she be planting gardens. What you be doing, Sade? I don't know if she be. I don't know, but Sade like, bitch, I about my life. She ain't pretending. She ain't pretending, and that's what was going on with this celebrity. This other celebrity was pretending that they was about that life, but they really wasn't. They was running around the streets and trying to run around celebrities and all that stuff. And really, it really was exposing them to too many people that they shouldn't have been exposed to. And so, if they're failing right now in any of the things they're doing, if this particular artist I'm talking about, if they're failing, if they're having a struggle with something, I'm going to tell you why. Because you let vampires have access. And they drained you. When you should not. You got to be rare. And then it was so weird because the thing they should have showed, like some of the things they should have showed up for, they didn't. Like you should be a rarity. But they don't get that. And to me, that is what's costing them. And whoever probably is manager, managing this particular celebrity and stuff at the time don't get it either. They keep trying to do mass appeal stuff. They choose to, I just be like, help. Oh. They don't understand that their crew is really, can I say this? Your crew is not really to be, yes, you get the mass appeal. Part of the reason they get the mass appeal stuff is because they're mystique. They have a mystique. And what will really ground them and make them successful in everything and stuff like that is to be really that. Ground themselves around the people that cares about them, and always remember that your crew is not the mass appeal crew. Doesn't mean you can't be friends and you can't be nice and stuff, but you have to protect your anointing. That's what they used to tell, old folks used to tell us in church. They tell us, protect your anointing. Baby, you can't be around everybody. You got to protect your anointing. Everybody can't have access to your anointing now. Protect your anointing. That's what they would say. I would say that the same thing to certain people. You have to protect your anointing of who you are. So sometimes you can't chase everything, because chasing everything gives people access to you that shouldn't, even if they look like they're more successful and more financial this than you, and you trying to chase and be in their crew and all this stuff, and they rejecting you. There's a reason. And you know you anointed. Don't chase him. Chase what's available, what God has for you. God, you will know the crew, the people, and things that's supposed to be around. Trust me, you will. And then they'll be chasing you for access to you. And then you be like, Sade, bitch, I'm over here in the garden. I don't know if that's what you're doing, but I'm over here planting trees. I'm over here minding my business. I'll be out there soon to play, but not right now. I'm grounded in who I am. Now, one thing about her that I would say they're going to have to get better at is, but she don't care. I really don't think. It's probably her fan base recognizing it, but she doesn't really need to do that because her fan base is grown-ups. Okay, so she don't really need to be out there in social media as much. Now, this particular artist I'm talking about that had the mystique of her, they do, because part of their mystique is their fan base is very cult-like. They have a cult-like following. So it's important for them to have certain things. But this particular artist, to me, just have really showed their ass the last few years. Now, nobody else has probably seen it. They probably thought these last few years was the greatest years of their life. But to me, I was just like, oh. I would say the name, but I'm not. Because and the reason why I'm not saying the name is because I don't want to, and this is an artist I really like, but what I will say is this, that the chase for things that are, and I've been there, I'm there, I'm trying to learn my dang on self, but this is what I'm using. This is one of the things I'm saying to y'all. Do not chase these certain things, certain groups, and certain people because they look high up or they this and that. Don't chase it. If they reject you, go ahead and accept the rejection, and ground yourself in the things that are on your level. Certain things that the people who are cheering for you, because that what's going to happen is they're going to take, because people want to get in exclusive parties. Yeah, everybody want to get in the club that's real popular, but what happens is the elites don't never want to get in something that ain't exclusive. That's open to everybody. It's exclusive party that makes the difference. It's just like you would hear out in Hollywood about, you hear about stuff like Vanity Fair, and I know it's not trying to dog them and nothing like that. They are the big and everything, but they're for a lot of the big celebrities. But what's exclusive and that's why people got mad about the Met Gala, because people saying it's losing its exclusivity. What is there are certain, like they say, I used to hear stories about Prince and different people having after parties at their houses and different places after award shows that nobody, not even every celebrity could get in. It was just exclusive. That's what you want to be. That's remember what Studio 54 was when they first started, was big on that. They would turn away celebrities. It was like, you got to be exclusive to get up in this joint. Okay, it's exclusivity. I'm not just trying to be for the masses. This is an experience. Okay, so you got to think of yourself as an experience and exclusive to only a few people, not giving access to everyone. And that thing you can learn from Sade. Because what is it? Sade is really grounded in herself and really does not care about what other people think, probably much. She probably does to a point, because she does have to protect. You do have to protect your career. But she really likes her life. She's really not trying to be famous, like overly famous. She don't want to be a pop star. That's not her thing. She's not faking about it either. So, but this other artist, they were giving me, I really wish I could be a pop star. I really want to be a pop star. I want pop star access. This other celebrity was getting upset about, my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. This other celebrity hates that they forget that they're forgotten in certain names and circles and stuff, but you don't have to, you're supposed to be, because you're rare. They're not supposed to grab you out of everything. You supposed to be, you got to act like a rare wine. The world you have is your world. That's what's going to make them chase you. What's going to make them chase you is shutting them out. You ain't got to chase him. Hey, when your manager tell you you need to be at this particular party because all the heavy hitters is there, do I? I mean, you got to be having really smart things. So that's what I try to say there. I hope I make my point on that exclusivity is very important. Having a rareness about you, and not letting everybody in on your thing. And that's what's one of the things about I'm talking about Game of Thrones and all that stuff, is understanding rareness and being rare and distinctive, but yet a people person. Yet a person that wanted, going back to the House of Dragons, it would help Rhaenyra if she understood the common folks. Of course she's not going to be common because she was raised around different people. But if you want to look for a person who understood the common folks, Princess Diana. She was raised in, she wasn't raised common, but she was supposed to be common, but she was raised common. Princess Diana understood common people. She reached out. She showed love, letting love go beyond that. And it came off very real. It wasn't a very fake thing. Okay, so understanding the people that you have around you and the importance of those people in your life. And next, desire, making sure that your desires align with your feelings and your actions. Desire plus feelings plus actions, all in alignment with each other. Even when your feelings ain't in alignment, your feelings will get into alignment when your desire and action is. You have to train your flesh to do that. I'm learning this. Child, is hard. I'd be like up here. Child, the other day I picked something. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have picked that to eat. And I only ate a little bit of it. I threw the rest of it because I was like, my new way of eating, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not picking things because every now and then I have something really that I really want and really like. But right now I'm really trying to work on my body. So that means that sometimes, you got to let the flesh go. You got to discipline the flesh the flesh has to get in alignment with, I want a new body. So I got to be there's certain things I got to eat. Everything got to come into alignment. So making sure that your alignment, your desire that God has put in your heart for yourself, all of it aligns to where you're going. Okay. And that you won't get take. And the last, but big thing that I'm learning from House of Dragons. You can't be double-minded. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. It's just that. I'm learning that. I've had so many things where I've been double-minded. You know what I'm saying? Have one mind about something. When you going for it, go for where you're be certain of the call and certain of where you're trying to move into and certain of where you're trying to go. Okay. Do not be unstable in your thoughts and stuff, like double-minded and like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that. Then you'll be all over the place. Okay. So when you say, hey, you know what? I plan on going back to school to get my master's. Set everything to face that situation, to go for it. Okay. And don't let anything disturb it. This is a season really where we're just going to have a lot of discipline and a lot of change in ourselves to meet our highest version of ourselves. And sometimes because we don't believe that we can really achieve the highest version of ourselves, because there's a part of us that believes it, but we are not in alignment with it. And to be in alignment with what you believe means is to be in alignment, your thoughts and everything coming together to achieve that person, your thoughts, your actions, everything aligning inside of you to move towards where you need to go. And then it will unlock other doors for you. I hope I get this. I hope y'all get it. Okay. So that's what I want to say there. And that's my thing about the House of Dragons and lessons I'm learning from Rhaenyra. That the throne means a lot of things. Oh, and let me make this clear, that the throne too, when you get to the throne, it's not just about getting to the throne. It's you're going to always meet when you've achieved your goal, understanding what the price is. What is the price for me to get what I want? Consider the cost. No man builds a house without considering the cost. And the fact that they could be end up double charging things. When you get ready to do remodeling on a house, the remodeling people can give you, say, well, it'd be cost about $10,000 to do that new bathroom. Maybe you should think about $17,000. Okay, because something may happen, something may come up, and then you get what I'm saying? So I always understand, consider the price of everything you do, the cost of it. What does this cost me? And does this align? One of the things Rhaenyra didn't do is consider the cost of the throne. And that the throne might cost her life. Now, sometimes something is worth your life. Sometimes you call here to die for something. I don't know. Some people are. Dr. King, look at Dr. King. He said, I might not get there with you. He said, like any man, I love to live a long life. Longevity has its place. Remember that speech? That was one of the greatest speeches. And I have a dream. I didn't like I have a dream. One of the greatest speeches from Dr. King. Let me look it up. So I want to say the right word. Hoping I'm helping y'all here. Okay. Yeah, he said, like anybody, I would like to have a long life. I would like to. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. Ooh. Dr. King was no joke. Dr. King had a lot of flaws, but one thing you couldn't say he wasn't. A lot of y'all saying y'all preachers today, y'all ain't preachers. A lot of y'all ain't preachers. A lot of y'all that got out of work. A lot of y'all failed at certain things, and preaching look easy. I don't know who would go to preaching. That's crazy to me. I think because most people, let me say this, okay? Let me really say this. This is a lot of y'all not considering the cost too. Sidebar. This is a sidebar. Sidebar. A lot of y'all don't consider the cost. Dr. King is a lot of this too. A lot of y'all become preachers because of Dr. King and stuff like that, because y'all really activists and trying to act like y'all preachers. Listen, the spiritual realm is much different. Preaching and all that stuff is way different of a call than an activist. And that's why some of y'all get ate up out here, eating a lot, because being a preacher, a pastor, understand what being in the fivefold ministry and stuff, you can't go up in there playing. These devils out here, that especially with the demons you got today, these demons ain't no joke. These are some devils. And a lot of y'all want to play preacher? No way. I be telling y'all, stay away from it. I need to make sure on here. What's the song Beyonce say? I'm not a preacher, but I can teach you something. I ain't no preacher. No. Preachers have a role they do, and they are constantly every day on the front lines. And a lot of y'all be taking on these, y'all be building up churches and stuff. I said, look at these idiots building up churches and stuff. And y'all like the sons of, what's the man with the man that got the sons of Sky? What was it where he said when he was out there, they was out there trying to cast out spirits. He said that the demon said, Paul, I know, but who are you? The demons beat him up. Y'all remember that part in the Bible where these people take the son? I think I forget it was sons of Sceva, sons of whatever. This is a sidebar, y'all. But sons of Sceva, I forget the name of it. But these people were going around trying to cast out spirits. They was trying to mock what they seen Paul and all these people, preachers doing who had earned their salt. And they got to try to cast out this one spirit. They come up on trying to cast out this one spirit. They said Paul, I know. Like I know who they are. They got authority. But who are you? the spirit said that to them, because the spirit didn't know that they had no authority. The spirit said, you ain't got no authority to cast me out. And they turned around and whooped the hell out of them. Them spirits turned around and whooped the hell out of them people. Y'all better quit playing out here trying to be preachers and stuff. Some of y'all better stop it. Calling yourself preachers and stuff to keep from doing, because you think preaching look easy. And a lot of people have made y'all think that preaching and ministry is easy, and it is not. It is the front lines of God's war in this realm. Are you stupid? Preachers have special power. Anybody working in the fivefold ministry has special power, anointing, authority. Man, you do not go over there playing with that. You don't go over there playing with that. I see so many people out here that shouldn't be preachers that's call themselves preachers. I'd be like, Lord, what is going on? You are crazy calling yourself a preacher because you don't think nothing really spiritually is happening, but it is. Till you meet a real spirit. Till the real spirits start walking. This is the end times too. When these real demons start walking up in some of y'all churches, y'all gonna find out that y'all not preachers. Because y'all ain't had no experiences with none of these real devils yet. But this is a time where these real devils is coming. And they gonna be like, Paul, I know. TD Jakes, I know. I know Joel Osteen, but who is you? Martin Luther King, I knew. But who is you? Oh, y'all don't want that. There's a lot of y'all getting ready to get that moment. A lot of y'all about to get them moments, okay? I'm telling y'all right now, don't say I didn't warn you. Some of y'all need to be giving up preaching. Some of y'all done went to preaching because you was failing in life. And preaching, you got a little bit of oracle skills or a little bit. One day somebody lets you get up and preach preach a little sermon at church or something. And then you start feeling the church start feeling you. And you really, you don't have the leadership skills. You don't have the gifting. You don't have the anointing. And you need anointing. That's another thing. You need anointing to be a minister. If you ain't got no anointing, run up out of there. Them demons coming for you. I'm trying to tell you that right now. Okay. Now going back to Dr. King. Okay. Dr. King understood that. Dr. King understood that sometimes the cost may be your life. That's why Dr. King says, like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. He's saying in the end, listen, I understand what this is, because what this could cost me. I understood it from the get-go. I understood from the beginning when I set out on this journey to be an activist along with preaching. First, he was preaching. Then he was called to be going to activism. But Dr. King, don't get it twisted about Dr. King. Dr. King could preach. Some of y'all can't. Some of y'all preachers call yourself reverends and say, "Oh, they can't preach. They ain't got no anointing or whatever." Even though Dr. King was deeply flawed, he was anointed. Dr. King was a David. David was anointed, but David did a lot of crazy stuff. David was going up to in the throne room without a sacrifice. I mean, before don't talk about David. Let me tell you about David, okay? But David was a trip out in these streets, okay? David was, I got her in different area codes. I mean, it is true. It was what it is. He was deeply flawed, but he knew how to repent when it was time. And I don't know about Dr. King and what his life was, but I knew Dr. King understood the mission that God had over his life. And that's one of the things you have to understand today. If you have a mission that God has over your life, understand the price of that thing. Because it will cost you something. This is the earth. I always try to tell people. That's why I laugh when they talk about they making sacrifices out there in Hollywood. They sacrificing and all that stuff. I said, I don't know what if it's some demons out there that think they supposed to sacrifice people and all this dumb stuff or whatever. But there is something to that. Because now, wait a minute, I ain't telling you idiots to go out here. You idiots that are out there playing games with the devil and talking about, I promised the devil my Aunt Juju Bear if I became famous. You just idiots, okay? I'm talking about that sacrifice, real sacrifice. There's real sacrifice. That's just the devil mimicking God's work and trying to fool y'all. But real sacrifice will cost you. So this is the earth. This is the earth of exchange. What you give is exchange. Give, get. What you plant, reap, seed time and harvest. Sacrifice for something greater. For God so loved us, he gave his only begotten son, all this stuff. God, do you understand? I'm trying to help y'all to understand something. Sacrifice is always a part of the game. The cost is always ever before you. Because if God had to sacrifice to get humanity back, what makes you think you ain't going to sacrifice nothing? I don't understand this. You can't put down some chocolate chip cookies to get your body in shape to go to touring, what God called you to go touring. Maybe you're supposed to be a singer. You can't put down some drugs and and all this stuff and everything to go do what God called you to do. That's really what it's got, really, because we got to consider the cost. There's a cost to everything. There is a price. This is what this word operates on. So more than anything, you have to understand what I'm learning about House of Dragons. Rhaenyra never understood the cost of she's been obsessed with getting to the throne, but now she's sitting on it and hadn't realized she was so obsessed with getting there. And listen, the biggest part of the journey is getting there. It's in the journey that you learn, but she let the journey, all she was caring about was the throne, instead of seeing what the journey to get to the throne was trying to teach her about the throne. It's in the journey that you learn how to handle the throne. Because once you sit upon that throne, whatever throne you got in your life that you're supposed to be sitting on, once you sit upon that throne, it's getting ready to cost you something. I love that every time she comes to sit in the throne, she gets a hand cut. She starts bleeding and she don't know, does this mean the throne is rejecting me? No, it's showing you the cost. It may cost you something here. It may cost you blood here. It may cost you money here. It may cost you time. It may cost you people. What is the price? Consider the cost. So today, for whatever you're going to do in life, there will be a price. Even if you're saying, I don't want to pay no price. I don't want to do nothing. I just rather sit back and be afraid. I know. I've been there too. You know, there's a part in the Bible where, you know, I love where the guys come, where the men come, when the guy comes back, the man leaves with the head of the household leaves, after the head of the house leaves all these talents with some of his servants, and he said he would be back someday. And when he came back, all the servants had doubled it or done something with it. But he came to one servant, and the servant said, I was afraid. I didn't want you to master. I was this and that. I didn't want to mess up your money. I didn't want this. And he said, you lazy, slothful servant. You should have been done turn my money. You should have did this and that. Get out of here. Threw him and banished him into hell, basically, because he didn't do nothing with what he had because he was afraid. Of the cost, of the price. It's gonna cost you. Because it will cost you. It cost that servant something, even though they were scared. It cost them their life. They put them out. All the things they were afraid of happened. You gotta pay. You gotta understand the cost of the game. Okay. And that's that. Okay. So that's that. That's my It's a Word. I hope y'all loved it. For House of Dragons. Watch that. It was only 8 episodes. I don't know how crazy I was about House of Dragons this year, but I learned a lot from Rhaenyra. Thank you. Okay. All right. So next thing we need to talk about here is ADOS versus FBA. Listen. Last week I went on what's it, Pop 54? I forget the people's name. They do Godfrey and this other African guy do this. I didn't go on the show, but they do this. I went on their website. They do this. Let me pull it up, y'all. They do this. Hold on here. They do this. They do this podcast, and I think it's called 154. I can't remember what it's called. Let me see here. They do this podcast. Okay, it's 154 Africa. Okay, it's Godfrey and Akbar. And what I don't like about them is because they're really, this is just my personal opinion, and I watch them from time to time. I even watch things that I don't necessarily agree with. But I think a lot of times, a lot of people are social programming for a bigger purpose. This is one thing that you're going to have to realize in the last days. People that the deception is on full big time. And I don't know if these guys even realize it, that to me, they're here to social engineer globalism and not distinctiveness in the cultures. Their thing is to social engineer you towards globalism, because elites do not want to distinctively recognize certain things. They're trying to go to this world of globalism, which is this world of this fake world, this fake unification, fake all these things, so they can bring them under, just my personal opinion, a fake ruler someday. Okay. And you really have to that's just my personal opinion on this. Okay. They had Wyclef Jean on there speaking, they asked about blacks being separated, divided, and conquering, and all these things. And I remember I said something under Wyclef Jean's thing. And it got a lot of likes. I said that they should have somebody they're trying to speak to. What I said is Godfrey and this young man Akbar are trying to speak to a group talking about ADOS and FBA. They're coming for them, but you should have a discussion with their leaders, because a lot of times, a lot of the things to me, the reason they're not having these discussions with Yvette or Tariq is because, and I know Yvette and Tariq don't like each other for various reasons, allegedly, but that's not what I'm concerned about. More what right now is that they're out here trying to misrepresent both of those movements among Black Americans. And they're trying to make it seem like it's xenophobic, it's separation. That's what they're doing over in South Africa, because people are against illegal immigration over in South Africa, and South Africans are suffering and struggling. It's hard to watch other cultures come in and be given jobs and benefits over the people who are the country. Okay, so remember, these elites do that, and a lot of times, it's not the people, it's not the migrants' fault, because the migrants are being removed and being pushed out of their own homelands because of all kinds of things going on. And they don't understand. And some of them come into these countries with attitudes and certain things towards the people who have been there. And that's the wrong move to make. Right. And they don't, instead of understanding, hey, we are moving into a territory where these people are hungry, or these people are this and that. And so we got to understand and respect the people that are already within the culture. Okay, so that's all I'm saying there. All right. And so Wyclef was saying about Black people being this and that. Let me just say the misnomer, the thing, that this is just my personal opinion. Africa has a continent, which a lot of Africans don't understand. I was talking to a bunch of Africans was writing me and everything. They don't seem to understand they're a continent. I don't know what they're talking about. I was like, you're a continent with 54 countries. You're not. Nigerians are not like Kenyans. Kenyans are not like Tanzanians. Tanzanians are not like Ethiopians. Ethiopia is not like the Congo. I mean, what are you talking about? But it's a thing when you get here in America, because Black Americans created that Pan-Africanism, that oneness, that Marcus Garvey stuff, and all these things that we took. Marcus Garvey was Jamaican, but he tried to pass that thing here off. It's, the whole idea of Pan-Africanism, all these things. Glorification of Africa that should not be there as Black people. And that doesn't mean we hate Africa. Please stop saying that, and that people are xenophobic. I love people all around the world. And I would love one day to go to Africa and visit the various countries. There are certain countries that I want to go to. Okay. I have no problem with Africans, but Black Americans have to delineate. And the reason they have to is because they put up a false narrative of you that you can't uphold. Your history doesn't uphold it. And it's also, listen, it's a blessing to see you as you are, which is divided. divided. The slave trade would have never happened if you hadn't been easy to divide and conquer. And if you get that about yourselves, and meaning this, I'm not saying I'll get together and ignore and take all the borders off of your country and stuff like that. That is not what I'm saying. Listen, I want Africans to understand distinctiveness is beautiful. It is beautiful that there is Tanzanians. It is beautiful that there is South Africans with their journey and their story. It is beautiful that there are Ethiopians. You are not alike, and you are from different cultures. You're just the same color, and you share the same continent, but very different cultures. You should respect that. The reason they were able to divide you is because of, it wasn't just a sense of probably respect. The lack of it wasn't the distinctiveness and difference. And you think, oh, now we got to all be one and just ignore all this cultural difference and all that. No, we're not one. Okay. What they got you on was you didn't have a respect for your differences. And you didn't have a respect for humanity. And we can say all day the Europeans did this, they made it hard, they made it this and that. All I'm saying is take responsibility for your part. Even if the Europeans did all kind of dickmen, so this is for you too, that don't know what you're talking about. Yes, the Europeans did a lot of shit, but they was able to get in for one little bitty thing. You did not respect difference. You did not honor difference. You thought of difference as being an enemy, and you would grab people from other tribes and send them and work with these people. And it wasn't all of Africa, it was some of Africa, but it happened in Africa. And just like America needs to take responsibility for its part in the slave trade, so should you. Denial is crazy. And then turn around and don't let the globalists, who are the elites, who put you in these positions anyway, that are stealing your resources and all this stuff, let them tell you that you have to give up your borders. You do not to love each other. As a matter of fact, you should be able to, the way you really work more with each other, and this is just my personal opinion. I can't say, but the way you should be able to work more with each other and help each other is by recognizing those differences, is by respecting those differences. Because when you do that, hold on, y'all. When you respect those differences with each other and stuff, you're more than likely to protect each other. But what you're saying is what to me, what you're giving off is a white supremacist attitude, that we, in order for us to be unified, we all have to ignore our cultures. We have to ignore. And listen, unity shows up in and let me just say this: we have to ignore. I have to ignore. It's really a white supremacist attitude. I can't. I in order to like you, you have to be me. And I have to be a part of you in some way. No, you don't. You like people for who they are, and you respect them. And the bigger thing that what should bring you together is humanity, having human traits. Well, when humanity, hey, you know what? It's not good to murder, kill, steal, rob, various things. You know what I'm saying? There's a respect for, but people having their various cultures, people wanting to protect their borders, is not anger towards you. People wanting you, telling you to go back telling you to stay in your countries and try to fix as much as you can what's wrong, It's not horrible, because when you do that, listen, you know how you help Black Americans? You don't help us. We ask you, listen, you help us by sitting up there in Africa and building a strong Africa in each one of your countries. And we'll build or try to build our best to build, and we have you to connect with from there. And we can try to build our stronger place for you, but you got to respect us. You got to understand that we have become something different from you. And that everything that, yes, we lied. Black Americans lied because they had low self-esteem and tried to say everything's from Africa. You know, all you got to do is go listen to your music in 1855 and listen to Black people out there in them fields singing. Maybe a lot of people got certain things from different cultures, storytelling, all kind of stuff. But our distinctions come from our journey in America. Africans wasn't singing, go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. You wasn't singing like that. Hey, you wasn't singing, Jesus will work it out. You doing it now because you got it from Black Americans. And the reason you got that is because of where America sits. America is a superpower. And so Black America was a part of that superpower in its talents and its gifts. And those gifts were shown on a thing called TV and Hollywood, and it went out to all the world. We were a product as well as it, but and also then when we went out to all the world, we also was trying to sell Pan-Africanism over. We were talking, a lot of us were a lot of Pan-Africans in the 60s and the 70s, 50s was talking all that stuff and didn't know nothing about Africa. As a matter of fact, a lot of them disrespected you. They were not understanding there were distinctive countries and cultures and things in Africa. And they were talking about, well, we was kings and kings, we was this and that. And none of it was really true. It was just trying to attach onto something because of the pain and the suffering and the struggle that was happening in their own country. But the Black American experience is a very real culture and a very real experience, right? Our music, our stories, or this and that. We borrow from various cultures of who we are. We're not just Black. We're not just our ancestors are not just from Africa. They're now we have ancestors who are Native American. We have ancestors who are French. Africa is the biggest part of them, but it isn't. And remember, when we came over here from Africa, we were pulled from different countries, different nations. And then we were stripped of our culture. They did a thing called seasoning. I think that's what it was called, or something like that. They did. They stripped us down out, and they couldn't know each other's language. They had to learn English. They stripped them. They had different people and different tribes with different people. That a lot of you was embarrassing. And it's embarrassing when Black Americans did this too, when they put y'all on display and didn't know nothing about y'all. And y'all let us know, hey, that's not true. That's not what Africa has 54 countries. But except the ones that's coming over here, what they try to do is try to say, we all Black, brother, we all this and that, because they think we dumb. That's not right. You're supposed to stick up for your culture. I'm Ethiopian. I'm not Tanzanian. But I respect them. That's a whole different country. Right. So there is this thing, this narrative that the globalists are hiding behind, and they're doing this of trying to do erasure. And Black Americans are very familiar with globalist white supremacy. We've been in the belly of white supremacy. We know how it acts and behaves. The next group I would say that's been in the belly of white supremacy for sure is South Africans. That we've seen it from a different point of view for most of the from a colonialist. It's a very different thing. It's still racism and white supremacy, but it's a different thing. Colonialism is more close to classism, and colonialism also is more the structure of the elites. And it's about race, but it's not. It's more the elites showing their face. I have to explain that one day, okay? But it is not, because we choose to delineate and we chose to honor our own culture and our journey in America, and we don't make you a part of that. Doesn't mean we don't respect you. Doesn't mean we don't love you. Doesn't mean we don't this and that. It just means that we are our own group and recognize us as such. And we understand what we've been through in America. We've done great things. We understand. That's why Tyreek is calling y'all tethers, because a lot of people like to, he's not, even though I think sometimes Tyreek go a little crazy, but he's saying that you try to tether onto a culture that's not yours and claim it to be yours. It's not. But I understand how you feel that way, because we were put on all display throughout the world. And I understand how you feel a kinship to us. But where you respect us and love us is when you say, man, it's amazing what Black Americans been through. Do you understand? Like, a lot of y'all don't. I remember talking to some Africans, and a lot of them didn't know the history of Black America. I remember I was in a beauty shop and I was getting my hair braided. And a Black woman and one of the Africans said, what do you mean Green Book? She didn't know about the Green Book, that Black people had to use a Green Book to make sure they were safe to get around the South. Get around some of the North too. And a lot of you don't know that. And a lot of you don't understand history, that it did matter what port you got dropped off on. Just like what plantation you got dropped off on too. But it really matters what port we did. North American slavery and chattel slavery and race was introduced on the North American continent. It was a very different thing than just going and making peasants or people slavery and certain things. What they did in the North America was very different. 3/5 human, no rights whatsoever, property. And then they started in, you're below us because of your color. That was started on the North American continent. Please understand history. This is why it's so important. And then we'll have a healthy respect of each other. Like, quit trying to tell me about myself when you don't know about me. Any culture, a thing that I try to visit, I try to learn something about the people. And a lot of Black people, here's what I want to say to you. Just because you done traveled all around the world don't mean you know it. You got to start learning about the world when you're in it. So if you have Haitians, Wyclef John got trying to get a check. Okay, I understand him. You know, that long time, but he didn't really. I'm gonna give this to Wyclef. I went back and listened to what Wyclef said. He was trying not to get into that, because when you listen to him, he understood the nuances of it. But Wyclef, I want to say this. You brought out that dude about Chicago who discovered Chicago, but he wasn't really Haitian, even though he came from the island of Haiti. Haiti hadn't yet become Haiti, so he didn't realize he was a Haitian. You gotta that culture had not yet been developed when you're talking about the man who had discovered Chicago and everything like that. So he probably had no idea what Haitian culture was. He probably is very much, if he even identified as FBA or ADOS after a while, he probably didn't identify as none of that. But he's probably more, if he was more closer to any group, it was probably Black American, because he didn't Haiti had not yet been developed, and that's very big. Haiti was not yet, that culture had not been developed, because he brought out that, you know, our lines crossed. Okay, be careful when you say that, because a lot of times, yeah, you might have had slaves that had been traded in the 1800s that were born in Haiti or born in the Caribbean or born in different parts, but they were brought to America, and almost in America during the slave trade, and 10 of their generations, they never knew nothing about Haiti. They never knew nothing about Jamaica. They all they know is Black American life. You can't claim that, because they don't know nothing about Haiti and all that. They don't know nothing about it. Okay, because just because they were born there doesn't mean they don't have anything. And for you, Godfrey and them, that's very different from Godfrey. And when you said, well, Black Americans try to say we don't understand you guys and all this stuff. When we were born, I'm from Chicago. I was born in this, but you're from a foreign. Your people weren't enslaved. Your mom and parents were from, I think he's Nigerian, are from Nigeria. I think he's Nigerian or Ghana. I can't remember what Godfrey is. but your family does not have the same journey in America. Now you might get a few strays from racism that happened because of your color, but you don't your journey in America is not the same as Black Americans. So in my opinion, doesn't mean you can't give your opinion as an ally or as a help or a person to us, but it means that you should listen to us because we understand the landscape here a little bit better than you do. We understand you can't speak for us because what we've been here for, our family has been here over 16, 17 generations, more than that. Since before, when the colonies was 13, before it was America, when it was 13 colonies, we were here for the inception of America, most of our ancestors. And the ones that came over early in the slave trade or anything like that, they were still a part of FBA, ADOS, because they have families continued with the journey with us. But if you come in post 1920, post after slavery into America, your experiences as an immigrant. It is not as a person a part of the slave trade. And you born in America, you do not have the same history in America as Black Americans do. Why is that so hard? Why does that delineation scare you? I think it scares you because you think that being distinctively who you are means that we will hate you. That is not. That's you making that up. Black people love Black people, people all over the world. We don't have no hate for you because you be distinctly like, yeah, I'm a Nigerian, first generation American versus Black American. I'm Haitian American. There is nothing wrong with that. But you're not us. You just not us. Have you had a part, some of y'all, in our history? Yes. Maxwell. I love Maxwell. Maxwell is a Haitian American. He's Haitian Puerto Rican American. That's my favorite singer. Maxwell has had a part in R&B, Black history music, but he's not us. But he's still a part. He's still a part of the family because he does our music. He does this and that. Hopefully, he has a respect for who Black Americans are. Because if he ain't singing Haitian music, even hip hop Jamaicans, just because you make a break in a song does not make hip hop Jamaican. Hip hop is not Jamaican. Hip hop was born from R&B roots. y'all was rapping over samples of R&B songs. Not only that, oh my God, they was rapping since the 1920s, 1930s, even before that. And if you want to get technical, let's Africa, we'll give you this. Storytelling is a part of the history. Storytelling varies in different cultures, is a part of the history of rap. But what Black Americans done is distinctive. And it was a Jamaican that just happened to be a part of our history that noticed how to make a break in a song or make it how to beat a certain beat. That's what they just did. But they were making it off of other people's music, music that was already established in America. And so if you're first generation anything, you should not feel threatened. You should be like, you know what? And Wycliffe kind of did this to me. And he said, Lauren taught us about all the greats. And we try to teach her some of the things we learned about Haiti, some of the greats from Haiti that we knew. But Lauren we had an exchange of cultures, each other's culture. But what it is too is also, is it hard for y'all to respect that this is a great culture, man? What Black Americans have been able to do, what y'all been able to do here. Why not just say we want to learn it so we can take it to Jamaica? We want to learn it so we can use it there. We want to learn it. And man, it doesn't mean we don't like y'all and the people, but nobody wants to appreciate the greatness of us. Everybody wants to take it for themselves. And it's really, you really can't do that. It's really not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to y'all is that respect each other. It's that just because I'm telling you that Black Americans have their own culture, I'm telling you that Africa, listen, Africa, you do have some responsibility in the slave trade. And because you're not recognizing the responsibility that you had in the slave trade and your own flaws, it is not helping you to root out these problems in your world. Black Americans got their own problems and flaws to figure out here in America. And what doesn't help Black Americans is you coming over here, not knowing nothing about Black America and saying, well, see, we work harder than y'all. We work for free for almost 270 years, our ancestors did. Been oppressed and all kinds of stuff, working on a Jim Crow, all this kind of stuff. How dare you? What if I came over to Nigeria and started saying, well, I work harder than these Nigerians here? And I start speaking up on television for the Nigerians, cosplaying Nigerians. Nigerians be like, how she know? She just came from America. That doesn't mean I can't speak as an ally. I speak as an ally sometimes for the South Africans because I understand some of their struggles because apartheid is very similar to Jim Crow and segregation. But I'm not a South African. I can't speak for them. I can speak to what I know and try to be an ally. Why don't y'all respect this? But it's not really y'all, a lot of y'all from Africa and all those places. It's a lot of these people that are coming here. And a lot of people, and also listen, it is something when you do not go back to, when you sitting here wrapping yourself in a Haitian flag, but Haiti is a fucking mess. What are you doing to ensure that out? One thing I give Wyclef John, Wyclef even had went over there and tried to be president. Okay, he tried to be political, even though they didn't buy him because he's really they consider him a Haitian American, right? But Wyclef went over there. He is involved in what Haiti is. He the only one I be thinking should talk stuff about Haiti. I say, hey, Wyclef can wrap himself into what Haiti, because he went over there and really was doing about that life with Haiti. He's really trying to do something. The rest of y'all people over here in America trying to latch on the Black American struggle and trying to be like, well, see, we party out. No, you're not. Quit it. You go back. Go do what. Let Wyclef be an example to you. He fights for Haiti. You over here trying to talk stuff to us about, and you don't want to even go over here and help your own place in the mess. And trying to find somebody else's culture to attach on to. Stop. Y'all only do this to Black Americans. Y'all do not do that to Haitians, because Haitians ain't gonna let you do that. You ain't gonna do that to Jamaicans. Jamaicans are gonna be like, man, please, we Jamaica. You're not gonna do that to them. You're gonna do it to us because we've been tolerant of you. And that's no hate. It's all love. And Godfrey and them are social engineering. Sure. As long as they ain't got the right people on there asking questions, they'll bring some Black ADOS celebrity to go on there and be like, no, we're all one. We're all this, because they social engineering. They will not bring on the people who really have a part and stake to explain themselves. They will not do that because they've been commissioned to social engineer. Now, if they do that, I'll be impressed. Okay. If you be able to be corrected in your own house and all that, I'm impressed. Okay. But other than that, I don't pay no attention. Right. I do not pay much attention to that. Okay. And to me, there's also, even though I like Wyclef, there was a little elitism in his thing because he said something. And I was like, I bet very few Black Americans said that. I don't know who was saying that to you. It's like my grandma used to say. That's why I say sometimes, a lot of times what happens with a lot of Black people from the diaspora in Africa is y'all will come into America. This isn't all people. Okay, I'm not talking about all y'all, but you will come into the America, but you will find the worst Black person to latch on to that is every stereotype, right? And you was to make yourself feel like you're more. That's what white supremacists do. White supremacy, when they down in, my grandma used to say that about certain white people. My little white friends, my grandparents be like, why she gotta act ghetto like that? Why she get up there acting like that? She ain't gotta act that way to be your friend. She ain't gotta be acting what she thinks is mimicking you. She ain't gotta be that. But what my grandmother used to tell me, say, remember, that's a way for them to be feeling like they distinctive to over you. They feel like y'all little hood kids or whatever like that. But show them you not that, and show them they ain't gotta be that to be around you. And what Wycliffe said to me he said a little sentence, like he said something about Haitians would be trying to make it straight A's, and somebody would, I guess some of the black kids be like, why y'all making straight A's? Hey, Wycliffe, every black kid wasn't saying that to you. Shut the fuck up. That's trying to make it sound like Haitians was so smart and shit. That's some bullshit. And black kids was talking against them being smart. That's white supremacist bullshit. Okay, so don't. And a lot of Caribbeans, and no offense, not all Caribbean. I know there's some people that live on the islands who understand this very distinctively, because I've met people who say a lot of the people who come over here from the Caribbean and Africa are really people who are elites and stuff like that, and they've got the money. It's not the same as Africans. I understand that. But I also understand that a lot of these people come over here with agendas, and they very much white supremacists, and their parents were white supremacists, even though they were Haitian and Jamaican. Their parents didn't even want them to hang around black people. A lot of them was hanging around black people to get the black music. And Wycliffe John is a very interesting person to me, because the same thing, Lauryn Hill too. Lauryn Hill might be a tether for, no offense, I love me some Lauryn, but Lauryn is might tether a little bit their cultures, because Lauryn Hill, he's an interesting thing. He was having an affair with this black girl and probably draining her of a lot of shit. So, so all of a sudden, I'm not all that into. I love Wycliffe. He's a great producer and all that stuff, but I didn't like that. Don't try to act like that. You knew of some black kids, smart kids in your class. Don't try to act like the Haitians was the only one up in education. That's some bullshit. Okay, shut up. That's some bullshit. I don't believe that shit whatsoever. They always do that, but that's the kids he attached on to make himself feel better about getting great. He didn't probably go to the smart black kids in the whatchamacallit in the school, because they would speak against his stereotype. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times black immigrants come over here with the same stereotypes as white supremacy. And a lot of their parents, I've talked to a lot of black immigrants in the diaspora and the Africa, and a lot of them believe the stereotypes sometimes of the thugs on TV and all that. Stay away from them black Americans. Stay away from this and that. It's true. Don't want you to marry them and none of that. So really, ADOS and FBA is not about hate. It's about distinguishing ourselves as a culture. I heard Tasha K. I love Tasha K. Tasha K is one of my favorite people to listen to. But Tasha K, you are wrong about that. You are wrong about what you said about FBA and ADOS. That shows that you haven't really been listening to people like Yvette Carnell, especially Yvette. Yvette is very distinctive about political stuff and everything. And I understand why Tasha is doing this, because she's married to an African man. And just because you marry interculturally doesn't make you distinctive, make you not who you are. You're still distinctively. Tasha K is a Black American. She has a Black American history. She just happened to marry an African man who has an African history. And now they have bicultural children. Okay. So yeah, and that is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't believe Tasha, no offense, I don't believe nobody calls her husband African booty scratcher, unless it's somebody over there that's playing games and trying to sow some hate. But those are not what those things are. Those things are about. And I hate that she did that, because really it's important that you understand that ADOS and FBA are very distinctive. And to me, my personal opinion, Tasha, because you usually do shows, you should have asked Tyreek to come on. You should have asked Yvette to come on, speak to some of them, Tone. It's some of the people who are running those movements, or and what they really mean. And a lot of people, I want to say this: a lot of people a lot of Black people are not going by the FBA ADOS thing because they really want to be a part of the mainstream, and they don't want to ruin their thing in mainstream. So they'll act like this is not a good thing or it's not this and that until they start losing jobs and stuff like that. I know Tasha, I'm gonna tell you this. I bet I don't know what I don't know what her husband is. If he's Nigerian, I don't know what her husband is, but I guarantee you faced the opposite race stuff. If you don't, are they not saying that to you? Because I have known African girls, women, and everything who have told me that they don't sometimes like their people to marry Black Americans. Vice versa. I mean, it's very few of Black America. Black America sometimes doesn't care about that because we see Black people as all, but we the ones that really do see Black people as all the same, and we're wrong on that. We're not all the same. We're all if you're coming from the diaspora and everything, we're culturally different. But Black Americans, because they've been sucked into Americanism. Remember, Americans hardly see outside of themselves. Sometimes don't see the distinctiveness of other groups. And so we be thinking all Black people the same, but they not. Okay. And so, Tasha, I am sure that you face some anti-racism marrying an African, and a lot of the women, a lot of that African stuff, because you are outside of his culture. You're not in his culture. You're the same. You have the same color, but you're not. It's just like different things for different Europeans. Okay, but you're a distinctive culture. So it does. So I didn't like that, but I understood. I just don't think she understood enough about it. And I think the more she hears about it and stuff, she's the one that I think would have Yvette on or Tyreek on to discuss this and will have a new understanding of it. She is the one I think would do that. That's just my personal opinion about her. Tasha will do that because Tasha, if she could, to me, what I like about Tasha, even though she didn't do that with Cardi, what I do like about her, what has happened about her now, is that she tends to correct herself or she'll have the people on that'll challenge her, even if she disagrees with it. So I respect that about her. So hopefully she will give that platform a thing and she can understand more about it, because she was completely wrong in what she said today about it. So I disagreed about it. And Black people delineating in America and having their own race and having their own group, that's important. There's nothing wrong with that. We're the second largest group outside of Brazil in the diaspora. We have to be able to hold our own culture. We can't let people erase our culture. I would never try to erase Haitian culture. I would never try to erase Jamaican culture with Africanism. It's not that. Jamaicans have their own distinctive flavor and vibe. And it don't all come from Africa. It comes from their experience on the island of Jamaica. Same thing with Haiti. And its rich culture. The same thing with Brazil, even though they adopt a lot of African things. Really, the islands are more closer to Africa than we are. Remember, the North American slave trade, when you people start saying stuff, that's because you do not know history. And I applaud you. I want you to go get some history books and read, or go watch some history stories. Remember what happened in North America. It didn't matter what port you got dropped off on. What happened in North America was a complete erasure and breaking of the American slave. Very different. So the American slave, whereas other groups were probably maintain some of their Afro thing, Black people in America is very little. It's true. Very little of it. Very little of it. They had to build from scratch. Because what was happening here was breaking our psychology. And that's why some Pan-Africanists tried to come and get it back without an understanding of Africa and its part in the slave trade, and understanding Africa and its distinctive cultures, which made you guys believe you were part of something here, but it's not true. These slave trade, they had to, Black people from in America, North American area, had to rebuild themselves as a different group because they had been broken psychologically from Africa more than any other. That's why you will see the Caribbean nations and stuff more, a little bit more sounding like what was in Africa. Very distinct, but they borrowed from us too. Even Bob Marley says a lot of reggae comes from R&B music, black music. But it also had been influenced by Africa because those Caribbean places were more closer, hadn't been broken as much as the North America and what North America has experienced, which was the reintroduction of race and a breaking down of us psychologically and an erasing of anything that was African. Remember, these are different African groups. You might have a Nigerian next to a Kenyan. You may have a Kenyan next to a Ghanaian. You may have a Ghanaian next to Benin, somebody from Benin. I mean, it was different groups of Black people, and they didn't understand each other culturally because y'all were Africa is full of different cultures. Just because we all were the same race, we shared different cultures. So when those groups, when they were snatching people off the continent, they were snatching people from different places. These were groups, these are people who all came together who were separate. We weren't even together in Africa. So what Black America, we had to create our own culture. This is what y'all don't understand. I'm trying to explain this to you. We had to create our own things. When they threw us out the slops, we created soul food. Because we had to figure out how to cook it and make it good. And a lot of Africans, when they come here, don't like soul food. We don't like sometimes African food, some of us. I mean, some are different. It depends on what part of Africa it's from, right? So that's why I'm telling y'all what happened here. And so you understand that we are distinctive and you can't take credit for that. Hopefully everybody understands. It's all love though. Ain't nobody hating. Okay? Nobody hates another group of people because we want to delineate. No, we just understand our journey in America, and we understand that the journey, that what our ancestors went through, the journey in America, what we went through created us as a group of people. All these African ancestry, all of our African ancestors from different places around Africa, thrown in together, couldn't understand each other's languages, nothing, thrown in together in this place called America, in North America, where they not only was doing slavery, but then they started telling us we wasn't nothing, we wasn't human. Our Blackness made us less than. They started to break us down psychologically, erasing us from any part of Africa. We were already kind of erased because we were all from different cultures. None of us are understanding each other. Benin people didn't understand. Somebody from Benin didn't understand somebody from Ghana. Somebody from this and that. We were very different. That's why the tribalism was going on. So we come here and we build a together group. Yes, we have our divisions and stuff like that. We have certain things. But most of us, Black Americans, one of the most cohesive group of togetherness in the world. Why? Because we had to be. We had to come together to fight Jim Crow, to fight segregation, to fight for our lives. So this is the culture we created. I love Joy. Joy, I don't even like Joy Reid. Some of her. I don't know her as a person, but I don't like some of her ideas. But I did love something she told 154. She came the closest on her to explain it. She said they are many out of one. She said they are one out of many. I said, Joy, they are one out of many. That's who we are. And not only that, we evolved into other things because of European rapes, French. Not only that, the Native American is we are a biracial group of people here in America that had African ancestors. So we are different. We are not you. We not you. But we know you are a part of our history. And there is a respect there for that. Okay. But to try to take effort for everything we do, no, that's not true. It would be like, no, it's not true. We are the distinctive than any other group in the world. very distinctive, very carry our own sound, everything. A lot of it is Americanism. And it's the journey of this group that came from Africa, who came from different cultures, having to create a new culture because we were stripped from the old, everything we were cut off from. Okay. And have a respect for that, please. That's all I'm saying on that. Okay. All right, so I wanted to address that real quick because that was just getting on my nerves. I was just tired of y'all out here in these streets trying to act like black people. I mean, it's just getting crazy. Just trying to make it like we hate y'all because we want to just recognize our own culture and who we are and the greatness of us, because we haven't always felt that way. It's always like this when people start finding out, dude, this is just for people in the diaspora and stuff like that don't understand this. Think about when you start finding, when everybody around you thought of you as the kid with low self-esteem and all this stuff, but you start saying, you know what, and everybody know how great you are, but you didn't know how great you are, and you start realizing the greatness of you. Well, some people gonna be offended by that because some people are used to you thinking of yourself not as who you are. And that's what's happened to Black Americans. A lot of people have not, we never recognize the greatness of us. And I hope Tasha K, when I hear her talk about that, I hope you are telling, not only are you telling the greatness of Africa, but I hope you are teaching your children, which I believe you are, the greatness of your Black Americanism. Because there is greatness to us. We influence the world, including the continent that traded us, that some people would say betrayed us. We influence the world. How beautiful and dope is that? And our brothers and sisters in Africa and the diaspora should be cheering that. I cheer the Haitian Revolution. I cheer what Bob Marley did in with music, but he did the power of music throughout Jamaica. God, how he could bring down the walls of race and colonialism with music, with reggae. Come on, why would you hate us? Why would you hate us? Yeah, we understand it was a superpower, and it made us huge. But listen, the struggle, the cost, you can't imagine. What we lost as a Black people, what we seen throughout our time in America. And that's why we have to delineate and be holding that American flag close, because it was a price. That's when I say our blood is in the soil. A huge price. Even they have picked things from when people talk about, well, Harry Belafonte and yes, and they got, I would say Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier. People would tell, and there was probably a reason that they moved in Hollywood like they moved. One of the things of white supremacy is to sometimes treat people who look Black but are a different group different from us. There are videos from the 1960s where Africans are talking about how they get treated better once they hear their accent, because you're not a part of the lineage. This is not a race. Really, they made it a race thing, but it really is not about a race. It's really about lineage and their ownership of the property they thought they had. Okay, so it's much different. Sometimes you're treated distinctively different. Even their moves in Hollywood, even them winning the first Best Actors and stuff like that. The truth was they really wasn't. Sidney Poitier, he was the first Black actor and Caribbean actor, but really, I would probably get that. Was Denzel next? Denzel is the first Black American actor to win. That's important to our history and things in this country. But when you talk about Sidney and Harry, they began to fight for civil rights because they respected Black Americans to a point, I think. when you talk about Malcolm X and his mother being, I forget where his mother was from. Forget the words, pass me that. But Malcolm's father, he grew up mostly in Black America. He didn't probably know anything about that culture. Malcolm immersed himself in Black American culture and fought for Black American culture. He never mentioned it in the book. I mean, I think he mentioned it a couple of times. I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm just saying, it's not to hate that. It's a beautiful thing, but that's not other people. The people who have showed up, in even Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey didn't go to Jamaica with that message. No offense. He came to Americas with this message because he understood what was happening in America. And that Black Americans were the one to carry that Pan-African messages, because we were the group that was thrown together. One out of many. We became one out of many. And Joy, shout out to Joy Reid for this. I don't always like Joy Reid and what she said, but she when she went on that podcast, she said what they've done is unprecedented, amazing. The awe that she had, I respected that. I like that. Wasn't trying to get away from everything, because she understands that she is distinctively different. But I don't know. I didn't hear the rest of it. I only heard a certain part of it. So I'm just giving her love for that. She did do that. Okay. So moving on to my next thing, what I want to talk about here. I talked about that. Raising Kanan. Okay. The season finale of Raising Kanan happens. And how did I feel about it? It's gonna surprise you. Hated it. Let me just say this, okay? This is nothing to those great actors. Every last one of them. Patina Miller, Mackay, the guy who plays Lulu, Hilgore, what's the girl who plays Jukebox, Marvin, Landon. Oh my God, the actor, this whole cast is phenomenal, and the Emmys has missed one of the greatest cast in Power. No, Power Book Ghosts were not. They were good actors, but this actor, this Raising Kanan crew. I'm not saying it was better. I'm saying that the acting, these are classic actors. These are actors. They was dealing with gritty, like hard, dark stuff. Ooh, they were great. This was a great crew. And shame on you, Emmys, because you missed phenomenal acting, phenomenal thespians. Okay. Nothing against them. They did what they had to do. Sasha Penn. What's his name? Sasha Penn. I think his name, the guy who writes for great orator, great at dialogue. The dialogue in some of these stories for him, I love. There's a distinct difference between dialogue and writing the overall arc of a story. Okay, you can have great dialogue but a horrible story. You can, meaning that like the story can have great dialogue moments, but also the story in the end, you can also have a story with great dialogue that can be great to a point, but then get off base. This to me is what Raising Kanan did. To me, what I didn't understand, I have to be very careful of shows like Raising Kanan. Raising Kanan was built off of a family in the 1980s, a Black family specifically going through the struggles of the drug trade, and all that comes with living in the hood and the neighborhood. And what happens to me, this is my personal opinion. I'm probably sure they got Black writers in the room, but some of y'all be scared to speak up, or maybe y'all speak up and it gets lost in the sauce. But what happens to me a lot of times with white writers, when they're writing these stories, they don't know it, because white supremacy, I say all white people will always look at things from the area of white supremacy sometimes in America. And you have to break that down in themselves, because that's just the natural way of how this world works. So to me, how America works. So to me, Sasha Penn wrote these last episodes to me in a way to me of, and people can say, oh, you're getting too serious, it's just a show, but it made me understand why people don't like these drug dealer movies and stuff like that to happen, because they understand that sometimes white supremacy, you will carry white supremacy archetypes and beliefs into writing your story instead of understanding what kind of Black families those were. This is getting ready to be spoilers alerts. So please, if you haven't watched Raising Kanan, turn off right now for a few minutes, okay? Because I'm about to talk about this. If you haven't seen the finale of Raising Kanan, I already kind of knew what was going to happen. We had this feeling that Jukebox. First of all, Sasha Penn, I'm gonna tell you this: the beginning in Power Book, it is important to me. What I didn't like about your writers, your current writers, is they tried to create a new story. And to me, it's very hard to create a new story without you. I hope every last one, is one thing I didn't hear you say. I hope every last one of your writers went back and watched Power Book Power, the original Power, because it feels like they didn't. And these characters felt distinctively detached from Power. But to me, as a writer, and I'm a writer too, destinies are born when I'm always conscious of writing a character. This is just my thing. I ain't as experienced as Sasha Penn. But when I'm writing a character, one of my things is how destiny carries this character. I'm looking at this character's history, everything, destiny, how the future react. Like especially I'm writing a story going backwards. If I'm writing a story where like something like Raising Kanan, the first thing I'm going to look at because Raising Kanan is about the past and we already have a story set in the future. So to me, I have to make these characters' destination meet that future that's already been seen. To me, Sasha Penn and them did not always do a good job with that. To me, they were very disconnected from the characters. They were very disconnected. A part of that was because I think that Courtney Kemp had never, I don't know if Courtney Kemp, I think she said she had meant to do expand our Power universe, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like Power Book Ghost was never meant to expand, was never meant to expand outside of, Power Book. Power was not, the original was not meant to expand, but it did. And so how do I make these characters? And I understand what he was dealing with, because you're dealing with a little bit of the detachment of those characters to a group of people that you haven't even written. But there are two distinct things that happens in Raising Kanan that I feel like that happens in the original Power, 2 to 3 things that happens in the original Power that they could have used. The emergence of jukebox showing up into the current thing. We already see that what we got from Ghost is Ghost knew who Jukebox was. He was scared of her. Also, we see this little line of tension between Jukebox and Kanan. We see that from the get-go. But not one time they bring up, it's pretty distinctive what the tension is now that we've seen the past. The past is they kill each other's parents. Okay. To me, there's 3 things that stand out. Jukebox's emergence, and when Kanan comes into place, and y'all don't make no sense. No writer does this. Nobody, if they do, they're not that great of a writer. Writers do not walk in. When Kanan came in the door, when he was talking to Tommy, then was talking about giving him a party, that distinct thing where everybody thought Rock was still alive. That thing would have drove me. I could not have killed Rock, because I already know the future makes Rock alive. When Kanan comes in and he's happy, you got to see his demeanor. He's happy. He said, "Hey, I just got through going to see." He said, "Hey, he said, yeah, I just came from blah 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 and went straight to see my. I went to see my mom's." He didn't. Most people, when they go into the graveyard, think of everybody in your family. Don't nobody say you a liar if you getting ready to say they all happy saying, "I'm going out there to see moms. I'm going to see my moms." Most people say to describe them going to visit their mother's grave. Yeah, I'm going out to my mom's, grave site. Don't nobody sit there and say, I'm going to see my mom's. Like happy. You have to look at the demeanor. No writer writes like that. A writer wants you to know the distinction. My mother is dead. Okay, so I'm going to my mother's grave because that's how you act in person. Nobody says I'm going out to see my mom's and they going to the graveyard. No, it's hardly nobody that talk like that unless you really awkward. Nobody hardly says that, okay? They might say, I'm going out to visit my mom's grave. I'm going out to visit my sister's grave. I'm going out to visit this person's grave. Nobody says they going to see my mom. Kanan, clearly the distinction was in that, and Sasha, you know this, that you let the fans put you in this. Sasha, the distinction was that somebody was alive that he called moms. We know his grandma died. So now you have to keep, to me, that character Rock is alive and powered. There is a reason there. And even in the end, now when Kanan dies, remember when Kanan dies, they say he had no living relatives. Well, I don't know what that means. Maybe that means Rock had already just recently died. Or maybe that means Rock was hiding from him. They didn't come to claim his body. And we understand why. Maybe she has some relationship with him, but not a big relationship. Okay. But what it was clear to me from the writers in power that Raquel was still alive. And to me, to not honor that was terrible. Next. So that was big too. And he did talk about, I think, his uncles lightly. Okay. Let's go back to Power Book. Also, one of the things I did not like that Sasha did, even though I liked a lot of Sasha dialogue, but the overall archetype of a Black family in the 80s that were affected by the drug trade. Most Black families did not act like Raising Kanan's family. I don't know what the fuck. Like if you're looking past 2000, you might get that. But the 80s, you hard pressed to find families, the Black families that were serial killing each other. This is a motherfucking serial killing family. Kanan is a serial killer. That's why the dude I loved what's his name? What's that dude's name? From the original Rick Ross. He was laughing at. He laughed at because they didn't have John Singleton there to run it anymore when he passed away, which was unfortunate. But whoever came in afterwards, oh my God. But the dude was laughing and he was like, we wasn't doing all what they was talking, what they do in that series. We would have been serial killers. I mean, they would have easily found us and arrested us. That was so sloppy. And a lot of things are written for entertainment purposes and entertainment things. Partly Black people, I blame you for always saying the streets need a body. They do not. Great writing, great crime stories, great things don't always need a body. Okay. I know a lot of gangsters that are alive right now, old gangsters that did old shit. Okay. That survived all the shit they did. I sure do. I know some of them live to be right old age. It's not true that everybody goes to jail or ends up dead. That's not true. Okay, they end up dead eventually, but some of them live long lives. Okay, look at some of these old gangsters out here. Who just died recently? The American Gangster. The story, the American Gangster was right. He just died a few years ago. He was one of the biggest gangsters in New York City. Okay. And what I didn't like is that he didn't use outsiders to kill, because a lot of times in the 80s and I had a family, one side of my family was completely a mess. A lot of them got killed and murdered, but they weren't murdering each other. They was getting murdered from other people on the outside because they was criminals. But that family, inner family, even though they was criminals, they loved each other. Even though they was criminals, from Sasha Penn's pen made us look like we were a divide, like this Black family. He eroded the Black family with his storyline. He used a son to kill his uncle, both the men in his family. He used a son to kill both the men in his family who were who were elders. And then he used the girl in his family to kill off her elder. Those things say so much to me racially. But none of the white people, they used all the white people. Listen to this. All the white people stuck together. Flossie, this is a thing throughout Power too. I hope people understand this. I see it a lot. I didn't see it in Power Book Ghost as much, but I see it a lot. I see it a lot in Power because in the end, Tommy rides off into the sunset. Ghost got his ass pushed off that thing. Even though I understand the killing of Ghost, I did understand that. But that's all we needed in the patriarch. We didn't need to keep repeating kids killing their family thing. It's redundant in the Power series. It's stupid. It's one time was good. We didn't need it 100 times. It's going over too much. And I know he called himself trying to connect to Kanan and explain why Kanan said, they say you're not a real person until you kill somebody you love. Listen, we didn't need Kanan killing up everybody. Why couldn't he just got shot his uncle and his uncle lived? Why couldn't what's her name? A shot. And I know Sasha said, well, write your own story and you can do this. That's arrogant. Really, to me, you wrote a story where you eroded, you destroyed the black family, but you kept a lot of these white gangsters, Italians and stuff alive. In the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 90s, in the late 80s, who was killing each other all over the streets of New York was Italians. Shit. But none of them went to get their hands dirty. It was only one time. One time one of the Italians killed one of the guys. They pulled up and killed that one guy. But that's it, because he stabbed him. Okay, and he lived. But most of that story, them storylines, most of them was sticking together. Pino and him was even about to stick together until Kanan came and begged Rock for his life. But then he used Rock to kill Pino. And he stay alive with his old dirty ass. Okay. And all these people, and not one time you making me think that the black people couldn't come together. Kanan couldn't come together, and Raquel and her, because to me, my personal opinion is that he missed the opportunity, because if it would have been great to see the interaction of Uncle Marvin. Yes, them. Listen, old gangsters lived in the hoods, and some of them would advise the new gangsters, even if they wasn't listening. They didn't have to kill them off to be there. That's lies. That's stuff that was happening in Italian families, a lot of it, no offense, because they had to move. That's how they had to move up. But that was not happening a lot on the street. The old people, they weren't killing the old gangsters up and stuff like that. That's why I said he didn't do no research to make this family kill up all their elders. These two young people killed up their elders in their family. It was sick. It was sick ass writing. It was sick. It was lazy writing. And it would have been interesting to see Rock and Marvin and Lou survive and what they had to teach these young people. But never should the inner family should have shot up their family. That's just not how most black families did not behave like that in the 80s and 90s. They might have been getting killed from outsiders, but they was not getting killed from not this. To create this family dynamic like he did it, it was, to me, it had a lot of racial elements in it. It was this black family killing all the men were killed, and then the woman. They have no elders left. And that is that's a form of social engineering, because black people begin to see themselves as, oh, we're this group. Yes, we're a group that can be evil and that can kill each other and stuff like that. But this seldom happened in our family structures in the 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that. To me, this was not good research writing. It wasn't a good moving of your characters forward. Somebody from the outside could have killed Rock. I would have been much better with that. Rock shouldn't have been dead, because Rock is alive in Power Universe as far as I'm concerned. And he knows that as a writer. Okay, he just ignored that. Unless you would have introduced somebody else that Kanan was calling mom. Like if you would have kept Pops and Pops and listen, let me tell y'all what it Pops and Snaps alive, and Kanan started calling her moms, then we could have seen that would have been okay. But to me, he was too interested in wrapping up, and he left a lot of stuff messy. Uh, the thing and they also the killing of Pops and Snaps. You This is not true. You made it. This is social engineering at its finest, in my personal opinion, and white supremacy going on at the same time. You're teaching a lot of black kids watching this. You have to get the elders out the way. That's white supremacy thinking. You have to get the elders out the way in order for the new school to emerge. That's a lie. We not a group. And when you talk about Africa and the influence of Africa on Black Americans, we love our elders. What are you talking about? Why you got to have them shoot up their elders and kill their elders off in order for them to move forward? What he was trying to show is this whole thing of black people not being for each other. Not black people. They see these black people, they'll kill each other. They'll kill their own family. Anything for the drug trade. I know he said, no, I'm trying to show Kanan. No, you showing the black family. And then what made me even more mad about this, Sasha Penn, is you try to put that little AI shit at the end with Sasha, with them having a baby. That made it even worse because you eroded this whole black family that looked like they were so together at first. And this is what happened to Snowfall. This Snowfall went terrible too. Okay. Even though I like the ending of what's his name, but Snowfall with the tiger in it and all that started being stupid and stuff like that. I loved them not killing him off, but making him lose his mind. So like that was okay. But I think it could have been written a lot better. This Raising Kanan family was to watch the end was horrible. It really reinforced that black people to me can't be together. He had a different thing. He could have said, you know what, wait a minute. To me, as a white writer, you have the responsibility to say, am I going to sell the same narratives that other people have sold about this family? No, because you don't need a lot of black people, we do this to ourselves. Well, we need something to make Juke evil. We need something to happen that makes Kanan evil. No, you don't. You've got members of your family that grew up in nice, good households, and some of them is the most horrible people in the world. Sometimes it only takes one little incident to make somebody evil or make somebody hateful or make somebody not like. You didn't have to make somebody killing each other's family. Jukebox kid, he killed my daddy, so I'm gonna go kill his mama. I mean, the childishness of it all. He killed my Uncle Lulu, so I'm gonna kill his mama. And even though I know Rock was the reason for that, but what's her name? Love Rock. So this is all, and then to me, to see them all together, to see her come save his life in Raising Kanan, I mean, in Power, just seems unrealistic. They probably wouldn't have spoke to each other again. It was terrible, and I thought the social engineering in it was, you have to get rid of your elders, black people. Elders stand in your way of your rise. Because that's how white supremacy thinks. Not white people, white supremacy. White supremacy believes that you have to remove elders. That's no offense to the Italians, but that's not Italians, but that's La Costa Nostra. You're supposed to respect your elders. You're not black. In Black American culture, we respect our elders. Even if you don't like your mama, you don't kill her for no reason. This was bad writing. It was lazy writing, and it was typical, atypical idea of what black people are. That they so divided that they'll kill their own family. It was nasty work. Nasty work, Sasha. I did not like it. It made me think that I would probably not watch Origins. And it just was something I disdained in the end. I did not like it. And I remember I was
I talked to some people on Facebook after, and they were saying, some of them were saying the same thing, and a lot of Black people couldn't see it. Yeah, oh, it's just a story. I say, yeah, but you got to watch it because they be social engineering out here. And one of the things they want y'all to get used to is seeing yourself kill each other. And it's nothing wrong with stories having Black gangster stories. The problem is what are you selling us? What are you trying to tell us? Because when you look at House of, well, somebody say, Carl, look at House of Dragons, they killing each other, but there's force, but they got purpose going on. They trying to get kingdoms and stuff like this. This is you, Black people killing each other for ruining the streets, for being in somebody else's street, acting up. Even ain't even street you own. So yeah, I saw a lot of disturbing things about power, the end of Raising Kanan. I didn't think it was the best ending. I thought that the other characters would have been great to see. Yes, you can write good writing. Let me tell you, good writing is not, it's easy to kill off characters. It's easy. Good writing is when you can take a moment with your characters and say, how do I help them to fall back in, like Marvin, when Marvin came in there and told Rock was like, this ain't nothing we ain't seen before. When she was telling them, which was great dialogue, Sasha. When he was saying, they saying, this ain't nothing we ain't, she said, we done seen this, we unique, we done seen this with this. He said, yeah, we might have seen it before. He said, and they may not be no different, but we different. Like, we've gotten older. We've become something different. What if Marvin would have changed it right there and said, Rock, let's go to Kanan and Breeze right now. And let's have a meeting with them and tell them how they can run it all. And let's step back. Ooh, you know how that would have been cold? That's not late. That ain't lazy writing. Killing off them characters was just social engineering and also trying to get through the story real quick. But it would have been dope if Marvin would have said, if we don't watch these, if we don't teach Kanan how to run a game like Tasha did Tariq. Tasha realized Tariq was gonna go into the game. She said, hey, he's gonna go into this game. And I can't stop him. Ghost can't stop him. So I need to teach him the best way so he won't get killed right away. Or he won't go to jail right away. I got me try to help him with tell him what I know. Or else go away from it all. You could have wrote that. Since we're writing the gangster flicks, these are gangster flicks. I agree with there should be Black gangster flicks. I'm not against that, but I'm against them not being written with the same humanity that white gangsters are written with. Okay. So having them kill up each other as family and stuff, like they family, I didn't like that. They not like Costa Nostra. They not none of that. That's what they did in how to move. They were 5 families competing against each other, essentially. Black people in America did not operate like that. And so I just wish that would have taken more care. That moment was a significant writing arc. He could have changed that whole story and surprised a whole lot of people. You know how dope people would have loved it if you would have had Raquel, Breeze, and Marvin and all of them meeting up with pops and snaps, and they all sitting in the meeting saying, we might not like each other. We can't keep this going. Let's do this. They think they run us, but let's turn it around on them. Do you know how that series would have everybody been like, what? That don't mean that Juke couldn't have still been bad. What's his name? Because something could have happened to Juke later on. Something could happen to Kanan later on that changed him. But right then at that moment, it could have been a wonderful thing. And then taking the elders into Origins, because you're going to see the difference. Taking the elders into Origins, but giving them a step back. But they still there, but they not running nothing. They giving it to the kids, but they there for wisdom. And to help you with little different things. They help you. They might be running their own little businesses somewhere else or doing something, but not as hard, but them still being around. But anytime that you see that erasure of something, it's because it's for your destruction. And maybe that's what Sasha felt like he needed to do, because he felt like these characters were going to be destroyed anyway. Okay. What probably would have been better is just not having them listen to the elders. But don't kill off the elders. I hated that. This is what the same thing the Shy did too. It was horrible after that too. Because this wasn't really Black America is doesn't always kill out their elders like that. They might die of diabetes and some other shit, but they don't kill out their elders. These Black people love their grandmas and great grandmas. Okay, even if they wasn't crap. All right. So yeah, I didn't like the ending. I felt like it was lazy writing. I felt that if you had seen the humanity of Blackness and the humanity of the moment you wrote, Marvin was saying to Raquel, we, if he would have took that further, we not in this game no more. These are young people. Let's do something different. Let's move it back. Let's go over there to snap some. Let's bring something together. And they would all turned on and killed Pino and killed Pino, killed what's his name, Stefano, and took their territories. And because you don't think that's realistic, because he think the white guy's supposed to come out on top. This is a story. Like y'all say, it's just a story. Well, why not kill let them killing them Italians out? And then Flossie, because y'all like Flossie so much, Flossie saying giving up and saying, all right, I'll work with you guys. That could have easily been done and written. And everybody learned their lesson. Marvin and Rock realized this game is over. We done changed like Unique did. Instead, they also made Rock look out of character. They did a lot of stupid stuff. It was horrible when Rock had to go into that thing and look back there at Breeze. This is her little kid. And Breeze was smart. To me, Breeze is smarter. Breeze didn't kind of like that. He was kind of showing that he didn't even like Kanan trying to hurt his family. Like, you sure you want to do that? Like, he looked like that was all things that so to me it seemed like somebody would have came up with an idea to say, hey, let's unify for now and take this story. Because to me, elders, even if people end up gangsters can end up living horrible lives and horrible deaths, but still have their elders. So no, I didn't like that. I thought it was lazy writing. I thought it was writing that was convenient writing. I thought that for Sasha Penn's great dialogue, he failed in the overall arc of each one of these characters. It would have been great in Power Book and Power Origins, because you're gonna need them. That's another thing. I don't know if it's gonna hold over in Power Book Origins, but you're gonna need them. You're gonna rocking them were so strong. That's like, you gotta know this. This is where television executives should have came in stars and said, don't you kill them off. Because in my personal opinion, you're gonna need those characters to come. They were so strong. Lulu was such a good character. Marvin was such a good character. You're gonna need them to come over there and help with that origins. Because I'm looking at some of the previews and I'm like, hopefully it works. Okay, it's just my personal opinion. Tariq didn't go over into Power Book Ghost alone. He went over there with most of the same crew. He even had Tommy sneaking in every now and then to help. He couldn't go over there. He had Tasha there still. Ghost wasn't there. They got rid of Ghost, but they kept a lot of the overall. Lorenz Tate was over there. They kept a lot of the arc of power to help Tariq in this new show. They had to do it. And when in the end, Tommy even needed Tariq a little bit over on that show. To me, their mistake is a lot of Sasha Penn's mistake, even with Tommy's show, was trying to white Tommy's show too white. You couldn't do that. You needed definitely Tariq to be mixing in on that show. Both of them to be mixing in. They mixed in at the end, but that's why they coming back with Power Book Legacy, because they need the arcs of those characters, those people, different characters to say. Tariq could not do that alone. You knew that. And that's the same thing I feel that's you gonna mess up with Power Book Ghosts. You should have been, it would have been cool to see Rock coming in town every now and then and giving them some information or some game, or Marvin at the bar working and be like, the fuck you doing? Juke being a police officer, what the blah, blah, blah. Or Juke getting maybe something else triggering Juke to become ruthless and not caring and stuff like that. There was already enough in her life to do that, even though her and her father had made up. But it doesn't mean that having humanity doesn't mean that you don't do evil things. You can still be a character with very much humanity. Go to the jails. It's a lot of people who are in jail who are murderers, but have a lot of humanity. They did a lot of evil stuff, and they realize they did a lot of evil stuff, but they got humanity, and they say, I shouldn't have did that, but I did. I wasn't thinking at the time. So to me, what he did was easy writing. Y'all think that was brilliant writing. It was not. It was very easy to do, and it was easy, but what would have been brilliant and beautiful at the same time, but also sad in the end to how all these characters ended, was showing how real life works. Showing these people with some families behind. Yeah, Kanan had great uncles. They weren't that great, but they were gangsters and stuff. But they did the best what they could. Not having them kill them all off. Everybody don't get what they deserve. That's not true in life. Some of y'all should be deserving a lot, but y'all don't get what y'all deserve. Okay, that's not really what happened. I even told somebody the other day that what comes around don't always go around. That's not true. One of my friends got mad at me because this woman was saying, you lose them how you get them. I said, maybe sometimes they don't. There's people together right now that came from other relationships. They was in other relationships when they got with the people, and they doing well. Maybe they got some problems from those residuals, but sometimes people learn. They say, hey, I made a mistake. That wasn't the right way to get with that person, and it was wrong. But they clean themselves up, and they go on to do well. It ain't always you get them how you lose, get them how you get, you lose them how you got them. That's not true all the time. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's very true. Sometimes it ain't. I don't know why that happens in life. Sometimes what goes around don't always come back around. I know plenty of people who are out here surviving and should have got it. Now, what I mean is this. It does sow a certain seed in your life, but sometimes people go through transformation in the middle of doing, like, say, for instance, people, listen, my personal opinion is this is how it comes back around. What goes around comes around when you don't change. But some people, like for instance, some people can get out here. Let's just say something. You find some people who, some gangster that was doing bad his whole life, doing all kind of crap, and he saw his friend get killed in front of him. But all the stuff he did, as a matter of fact, I got somebody in my family like this. All the stuff he did, it was getting ready to come back on him, but he said, you know what? This ain't the kind of life I want to live. The seeds I have sown, I do not want to reap. Let me change. And that change is so deep and powerful, it facilitates a completely different person that they don't get back what they should have gotten. That happens out here in these streets. I'm trying to tell y'all, when y'all be saying some of this stuff, y'all be saying about karma and stuff ain't true. Sometimes God doesn't allow things what should have happened to you don't happen. Because you done seen the light. And you change your destination. Sometimes, like girls, when you say, oh, he's a cheater, he been out here cheating in these streets and stuff like that, and they got together because they was cheating with each other and doing all kind of stuff, and they was cheating, and then 10 years later, she don't get him, how she lose him, she married 10 years later. But what you don't realize about that couple is that got together through horrible, ugly circumstances. They know both of them was horrible and both of them was not doing the right things, or maybe they weren't horrible. Maybe they just had a moment where they did the wrong thing. But then they said, you know what? I don't want to go into a relationship like this. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to, let's correct ourselves because obviously we got a problem. So let's not hurt each other like we hurt our previous people.
let's change this around. And they don't receive that. That's facts. I'm gonna tell y'all, I know y'all get mad at me. I know y'all get mad at here. But some people have changes that changes their karmic destiny. That's why I hate writers writing so simple. I'd say that's simple because you think karma, you think everything come around, go around, but it don't. Not if people change. And some people it's too late for. Some people, they don't want to change. They never change. Like while Rock and them may have seen the light, Kanan may never seen the light. I see that plenty of times. Old gangsters in my family saw the light. And they said, I told that fool to quit out there running the streets, and they end up in casket somewhere dead. They're in jail. He said that fool knew it was coming for him. He didn't get out in time. Some people get out in time. I just think that Sasha Penn could have written better. Like he said, if it was your story, if it's your story, then you do it. So it made me see. I went back and looked at some of the powers and stuff like that. And I said, he right. This is a lot of this is lazy writing. Okay. And I might not be watching the rest of it. Okay. All right. So moving on. That is it, y'all. I think we talked about everything. Did we talk about everything? I think I hit everything I wanted to hit today. Okay. You guys, I be talking, don't I? Y'all say, you sure you an introvert, Carlotta? No, because I'm on this show. This is what this show do, is talk. I am really looking into we're looking at other platforms right now. So I know you guys miss the music. You guys tell me that all the time. We miss you with you having the different music and different stuff and old school R&B. So I'm looking at a different platform right now. This is a platform just to keep y'all in touch with me. I really don't consider this the show as much, but this is something I wanted to do to keep y'all so that y'all could see that I'm still here and things like that. But I am looking at a platform right now that has a space for music and everything so that we can come back and doing music and everything like I used to do and all this stuff. So what I may do is take off for a while because I have to reinvent the show, but I may do that and we will come back with that where you guys can get the music and everything like that because I know y'all miss it. And it's hard for me to be sometimes when no, it's not. It ain't hard for me to talk. When I get on my spiel, I be on my spiel. But I understand it always helps for my break to have a break with music. Okay. So I am looking at a platform right now that gives me the opportunity to do both. Okay. All right, you guys. So remember, you can hit me up at the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. And you can also hit me up on Carly's_Galaxy on Instagram. That is Carly's with an S. And then there's a link there for Threads. And also for X, it's C Chat with Show and Carlotta 72 are both the accounts, and for TikTok is Keisha Carlotta. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will try to come on and do the show with more hot topics and stuff, but I wanted to hit up those hot topics today this specifically. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Yes, have a good one. I am out. See y'all. Wait a minute, hold on. I think I'm out. I can't find my thing. Hold on, y'all. I be cracking myself up. I don't know what I be doing. Okay. Yeah. I think. Hold on, y'all. Oh, yeah. And y'all was asking me somebody asked me about, did I know anything? Have I heard anything about Maxwell's cruise? I don't know. I mean, you know what? I mean, Maxwell out here, I don't know where he at. Is he selling the 7 Seas? I don't know. Is he working all night? I doubt it. I don't know where Maxwell at. I don't even know if y'all getting the cruise. Is Maxwell just decided to give up the cruise? Maxwell like, damn, forget that damn cruise. I done heard so many rumors about Maxwell's cruise. Is somebody told me to change the April? I said, well, shit, he gonna have to change the April if the way he only leaving us enough time. He don't understand. You dealing with black folks. Hold on, let's leave the show with this. Maxwell, you dealing with black people. And you mostly dealing with Black American people to be on your cruise, but you got some from the Jamaican Caribbean and all that, but mostly Black American. And we gotta have plenty of time to save this money. Why you out here playing?
These people calling up, what's the people? What's some people they call the Rose Tours people, harassing them, asking them when the show gonna be? They talking about you gotta secure your artists. What the fuck you guys secure? How you can, Maxwell? Come on now, you can still be putting out the cruise and getting the artists at the same time. You didn't announce all the people right away. What's going on here? What is going on with Maxwell? What's going on with this cruise? This cruise is the most unorganized stuff I done seen. Maxwell, please, there's too many cruises out here now. I started going to Jamaican cruise, especially when that dude used to living it up. When I saw the video, I said, they look like they be kicking it on that cruise. Maxwell, there's too many cruises for you and y'all to be out here playing. Now we trying to hold out for you. Where is the cruise? We done did this with Night. I started to do one of them Netflix documentaries where I sat down and said how I survived waiting on Night. I still might do one. Sit down and think, be like, he said it was coming out in 2000, this thing, and then it didn't come out. Then he said he keep telling us Night's coming, and he keep putting things up. He just messed with our mind at this point. What is you doing? Now you trying to do this with the cruise. Come on, dude. Quit playing. Put the cruise out. Give us the dates. Give us something official. Are you going to have this cruise or not? Don't be playing with our time and stuff. We can go somewhere else. They got the Rhythm and Rise cruise. They got the Soul Train cruise. Quit playing with us. A lot of people trying to wait out for you. What is you doing? At least come on there a little video and say, y'all, the cruise is still coming. We still working on something. Can I just say this? As much as I love you, Maxwell, can I really say this? You and your people lack fucking customer service. Y'all don't got no fan service. Tell your fan base what's going on a little bit. Hey, guys, they got a whole Maxwell Urban Hang Suite Cruise Facebook page that people go on all the time asking questions. Even send their little person or your people who put out and send them a little notice out and say, hey, Maxwell, we are still working on a cruise, guys. This is what's happening. We want to update you. But you take for granted that we always gonna be here. You better quit playing in our faces. You already playing our face about Night. Don't be playing. And we still come to them concerts named Night 1 and Night 2, Night 3001, all that stuff. We still show up. You want to play in our face about this cruise, and you know your cruise is high as hell. Why is you playing? Get your people on it. Quit being a buster. You did this last time, and I said to tell you off. I'm not sorry about telling you. I tell y'all off about that cruise. You didn't even put out there. I said you act like you don't like this cruise. Do you not like the cruise, Maxwell? Is that what's really going on? Are you just doing this? You're just putting your name on something because it's a way of promotion? Because it really seems like you don't like the cruise. My perception of your cruise has been that you don't like it. Because you're not really heavily involved in it. You're not heavily, when you only do 2 performances and then you go, from what I got, you hide. You don't even see your ass nowhere too much around the cruise. I don't understand this. I'm just figuring he don't like the cruise. I'm like, he don't like the cruise. He don't even be outside. I saw Maxwell not out one time cheering on the other artists. Not one time. They did say the first year he did stand out there a couple of times. Maxwell, back after the cruise was over with, Maxwell was over with. Maxwell erased his whole fucking page. He hardly put nothing on about the cruise. Hardly nothing. He didn't show no performances. He didn't show nothing. Because in one weird way, I'm thinking he all that. I start thinking it's ungrateful. That's what I start thinking. I might be getting the wrong perception. But it's coming off as ungrateful, Maxwell. Where is the cruise? What are you doing? What is going on here? People trying to save their money and wait on you. Get the money. Get the crew. Tell us what's going on. Quit being that. Quit. You might be out on the beaches in the Caribbean and stuff like that, but motherfuckers are sitting here working overtime and undertime and everything trying to save for your cruise, bitch. Act like you care. Yes, the cruise is still going on, y'all. We just got a little technical difficulties. Something you act like you ain't even supposed to even tell us that. Ugh, nasty work. He's starting to get on my nerves. I'm like, I know why. I'm slowly starting to not like it. I'm starting to say, slowly starting to say, should I be a fan base of this? Should I be in this fan base? Because it seems like a disorganized one. Not the fans, but him. You know what I'm saying? Like he seemed like I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want. Maybe I'll tell y'all when the cruise is, maybe not. Y'all gonna come. That's terrible work. Anyway, you guys, I'm out. Y'all have a good one, okay? Oh, no offense, Maxwell, don't take offense. It is all love. I just had to tell you like it is. It's a mess. Let us know when the cruise is. A hot ass mess, okay? It's today. All right, see y'all. I'm out.